Alrighty, welcome to episode 103 of Tokwa's Ask Us Anything. As usual, it's been a pretty busy news week. Tesla's upcoming 2022.24 software revision is set to enable owners to move the position of the automatic blind spot video feed. In Australia, the blind spot feed will be able to be moved to the upper middle, upper right and lower right hand side of the touchscreen. A further enhancement to owners' driving experience being released with software version 2022.24 is cloud-based owner profiles. This will allow various driving preferences including mirror, seating, steering wheel positions, autopilot, driving, climate control, navigation, media and data sharing preferences to be synchronized across all supported vehicles, accessible from the owner's Tesla mobile app. Tesla are introducing paid destination charging with 6th Generation 3 HPWCs in Santa Monica, California, being available to use for free via the Tesla phone app. Tesla are also making the same charges available to non-Tesla EVs using the same app. Model Ys have landed in Australia with a sizable number of cars being offloaded yesterday at Port Kembla. First customer deliveries on the eastern seaboard are expected to start by the end of this week. Tesla have updated their left-hand drive region European website and sent out notifications to Model S and X plaid order and reservation holders, inviting them to configure their cars in readiness of November to December deliveries. It is believed new standard Model S and X reservations will be open shortly, as well as existing orders being scheduled for delivery next year. And that was this week's news. Indeed it was. So welcome everyone to another episode of Ask Us Anything. If there's anyone new, please feel free to say hello, but you're also more than welcome to do that a little bit later on in the program. So we'll just let anyone unmute if they'd like.
Hello, my name's Gareth, if you can hear me.
Welcome Gareth, yes, loud and clear.
So yeah, I've ordered a Model Y. I'm waiting, should be here somewhere between the end of the month, beginning of September. I'm hiding at the back of the house at the moment. I don't know if you can hear the rain. The reason I'm doing that is because I haven't told my wife I've ordered it.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do for the rest of the program is basically just not refer to you at all, but just test you in general terms that, yeah, it'd be awesome to buy one.
That's why his camera's not on.
Very, very quickly, did you get it in pearl white?
No, I ordered silver.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. And you've obviously got a standard range car with the Gemini wheels?
Yes. Yeah.
Black interior?
Yes. Yeah, I've got kids. It has to be black.
Yeah, cool.
I like it.
Yeah, I think we could debate that. I think there's some of us have got white seats, not me included, but others that have white seats and can argue the point that they're just as easy to clean. But I think, black seats with kids is probably more practical and a great choice.
It's a surprise for my wife, so it's been killing me to keep it quiet. So I'm glad that the delivery date's not that far away.
Yeah, let's hope it's look, by early September, it's definitely going to get delivered one way or another. So it's going to be very exciting. But you're certainly more welcome to lurk and listen in on the rest of the program. And like I said earlier, it's on YouTube, obviously, so you can watch the previous episodes. We will actually have basically a Model Y delivery sort of episode that just runs through the delivery process, which is lightning fast. Okay. And this isn't just for you, Gareth, because obviously you don't have a Y, so why would you want to know this? But anyone else that might be interested, we'll go through the very fast delivery process, and also just normal questions and answers that people might have about chargers, cables, and all that sort of stuff. And of course, we're more than happy to discuss that now as anyone brings up organic questions or whatever. But yeah.
We should also mention on the Tokwa Facebook page, Rob Dean has started a thread and he's posting up all different articles over the next couple of weeks so that people can familiarise themselves with with the car prior to deliveries. So that's also, going to be a good resource, as well as, the website, obviously. Hey, I can see Andy's trying to say something, but we can't hear you, Ant.
He's speaking in tongue.
You're not muted, but you're not. We can't hear you.
He's speaking in a religious way.
You might have your mic unplugged.
Probably needs a Kona.
No, haven't got you, Ant. Just after you've had a fiddle with your audio, just feel free to interrupt randomly, and then if we hear you, then we'll tell you. But unfortunately, it's not working at the moment. Okay, is there anyone else new that's joined us for the first time that would like to say hello? Possibly not.
Yeah, hello, Mike here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, Mike. Yes.
Oh, hello.
Clear.
I've got the laptop going, so this is my first meeting with you guys. So I ordered the Model 3 back in February, so I'm assuming my car's on the current chip. That's it, Kembla. I'm hoping it is.
Do you have a VIN? Do you have a VIN yet?
So I got the long range with the white on white. So,
Mike, have you got a VIN number attached to your account yet?
I do. Yep, in the paperwork. Yep, it had all the VIN number and the date of manufacture and things like that. So I'm assuming it's all good.
What date was it?
Did you get into? Was it the 9th of July?
It was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Something you can do to check that would indicate that your car is in Australia or coming to Australia very soon, already here, is go and Google
Veda.
Rev. No. Rev.
Oh, the Rav.
Sorry, Rav VIN. So just go Rav VINs.
Yep.
I'll bring it up on the chat.
Yep. Perfect.
And you can put your VIN in.
Yep.
Rav VIN search. Oh, that's what it is. So I'll just put it in the chat now. Chat. But for anyone watching on YouTube, just Google RAV VIN search. And in fact, Chris has just beaten me to it.
Yeah, good one. Thanks.
So you stick your VIN in there.
Yep.
And if it's been registered, there were a lot of cars, including mine, that was registered on the 1st of August. And if it's been registered on the 1st of August, if it's on the list and it's in, basically 1st of August, then without disclosing anything that's secret, that basically means that the car has effectively landed in Australia.
Okay.
So you will be getting it soon. And you've got a Model 3.
Yeah. Yep.
So you'll be one of the unicorns out of most of the Model Ys that get delivered.
Exactly.
At the end of this month and next month.
Yeah, I believe most of the Model 3s are for WA.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. Yep.
Yeah.
No worries.
So we must be a bit behind.
Yeah, well, we're not called wait a while for no reason.
That's right.
Fortunately.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Fantastic. And yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions about it, just pipe up or even chuck it in the chat if you prefer. But
I'll chuck it in the chat. I've got one, so I'll put it in the chat a bit later.
Oh, we can do one now if you like. We can do you right now.
Oh, look, I've been thinking about. I got it when I bought it. It came with the 19-inch wheels, and I've been thinking about getting the 20 Uber turbines. So, from somebody. So, could I fit them? Is there a problem with fitting them? And is there a calibration issue, or will they fit and things like that, or is it just a straight swap?
Harold, you're muted.
Sorry. You do have a standard range car, don't you?
I've got the long range.
Long range. Okay, yeah. So the Uber turbines will fit, the 21-inch Uber turbines. Yep. The issue would be if, say, you propose to swap your wheels with someone that, say, had a performance wheels, which is something that you can do in Model Y land, because with Model Ys, all the wheels fit all the versions of the car.
Right.
In Model 3s, your the wheels that you've bought for your long range won't fit on a performance Model 3, unfortunately. Only the Uber turbines will fit.
Yep.
So, but you can certainly just buy Uber turbines. I guess the thing is, I question whether there'll be a ready source of Uber turbines, because someone who wants to sell theirs. Yes?
Yeah, I was at the store last week, and there was a gentleman there whose details I was given, who's just joined our Facebook page. He's got 4 Uber turbines that he's looking to sell. So,
there you go.
Yeah, I don't know the price or anything like that, but yeah, he'll be putting them up either on our Facebook page or on our sister website, which is the Buy, Sell and Trade, the Tokwa Buy, Sell and Trade page.
So I think he's actually put that up already, because I saw it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And his performance model is a late 2021. So are they something that I could fit straight onto the long range 2022 Model 3?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Model 3 rims haven't changed since they were first made.
Right.
So they're compatible throughout the year.
Yep.
All the versions are all the
Yep. Okay. Yeah, they aren't cheap, but they're there.
How much is he asking for them?
I think he's looking at about
5,000.
Yeah.
Not exactly cheap, but
Jesus.
No.
Did you price it from Tesla, Chris? I mean, Mike, sorry.
No, I haven't. No.
Let's have a look. I'm not sure if they're on Tesla's website or not, but you could certainly get a price.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Is that just the wheels or tyres as well?
It's the tyres as well.
Mm-hmm.
They look pretty schmick, and they weren't an option when I ordered.
Yeah,
Okay, just looking now. Model 3 wheels and tyres.
19s and 20s, not the Uber turbines.
Oh yes, they don't. So if you just go to Tesla shop, you've got to pick Australia, obviously, and then just click onto the shop, and they've got very little choice. Everything seems to be out of stock except for snow chains, and we've got a great use for those.
Wow.
They do have the 18s, 19s, and 20s, but not the Uber turbines.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, unfortunately, Mike, the only choice at the moment, but there's no Tesla choice. There's just second market.
Yep. No worries. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, is there anyone else, just for the next moment, that might be new? I think, Sarah, you look new. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I'm new. Actually, I have a question. I've ordered a Model 3 back in April, so it's going to be a while. But just hearing you talk about Model Ys, would you say the Model Y was a better car? Would you?
Yes.
And it seems to be functional quickly.
Yes.
So, is it worth cancelling my 3 and going for a Y?
No, the answer is no. The answer is definitely no. It's personal preference. There's a couple of Model Y freaks in this chat room, unfortunately, and they're being tainted with the Model Y brush. I drive a Model 3 Performance, and I think the Model 3 is perfect. But it's personal preference, really. Unfortunately, there's a few people in this room that are heavily sold by the Model Y.
I'm just going to mute Jared for a moment.
Yeah, there you go.
Good idea. Mute Jared.
Jared. Exactly.
So Sarah,
Depends on what you want it
Is
for.
there a permanent mute?
Yeah. So
He's back on. Here he is.
Hey, funny figured it out.
Ant's back.
Ant's on.
It's on.
So
It's on like
Sarah,
Donkey Kong.
what you should do is see for yourself. So go to the you can just go online and book a test drive. In fact, we'll do that. I'll do that in a moment. But what you can also do immediately, without booking anything, is just go to Osborne Park and you can sit in it. You can open it all up and you can sit inside the car.
Yep.
Because actually, to be honest, the test drive will be much the same as for the one that you would have had with the Model 3. The performance the drivability is basically the same. What really counts is the interior. So if you've got kids or multiple passengers, there's just more space. The Model Y is larger in every dimension, and the room inside the cabin is cavernous. And a big bonus is the hatchback, as opposed to the boot arrangement of the Model 3. So just go to Osborne Park and have a look. Like I said, you can book a test drive, but really, all you need to know, you can find out from just sitting in the car at the showroom, and you can do that anytime you like.
And you'll notice there's, they look almost identical. They share something like 3/4 of the parts. But you will find with the Model Y, there is no centre brace in the ceiling. So you've got glass going from back all the way to the front, which actually looks really good. But because you sit up higher, it's that concept, if you were to sit down on the ground with your back against the wall, your legs would either go forward quite far or you'd have your knees near your ears. But if you sit up on a high stool, your legs are right down and it feels like there's quite a lot of space in front of you. So because the seats are up a little bit higher, you feel like you've got much more room in Model Y. Also, there's the sub boot or the sub trunk is quite a bit deeper, as is the front or the front boot. And also behind the back sub trunk is also another little one. So there's actually two. It's not huge, but it's big enough to put your mobile connector in, your UMC. There's also, with the Model 3, there's only a left pocket in the boot, whereas with the Model Y, you get two pockets. They're bigger and they're a lot deeper as well. The Model Y, the range is a little bit less. What is it, 20K on a standard range, something like that. And it's slightly slower, so it's not as responsive as the Model 3. But apart from that, that's really the major differences.
Now, Sarah, what Model 3 did you order?
Just a standard one.
Okay, so something else that's going to be a factor. Well, there's a few factors. So let's just say you suddenly decide you want to buy the Model Y instead of the Model 3. First thing is you're going to lose your $350 deposit. That's just Tesla's direct policy. They will not accept a movement from one car type to another. So you're going to do the $350 cold. But that's not a problem because the features you'll get from the Y will be worth that thing. The other thing is your Model Y is going to cost a little bit more than its headline price difference because it's not going to qualify from the Western Australian EV rebate, which is $3,500, whereas your Model 3 will. Okay. So
it's limited to 10,000 cars, but there's a good chance you'll get in way before the 10,000 is up. So yes.
Yeah. So whatever the price difference is, and we can do this a little bit later, but off the top of my head, I think it's $6,000 or something roughly. Depends on when you bought your car, whether you'd already bought it. You bought it in April, so that would have been before the price increase of all cars. So there is going to be a bit of a price step up, differential. But look, if you intend to keep this car, well, there's another couple of questions. I mean, if you wanted to become a 2 Tesla family, then you could say, well, let's just get the 3 and then get a Y. And I know that's really radical, but
highly recommended.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people have done it. So you could even go...
Including the bald person that's speaking with you at the moment.
Yeah, that one. Yes. Sorry, I don't know who you're talking to. I kind of resemble that remark, Pete. So the other bit of bad news is, if you cancelled your Model 3 order, which you would probably be due to get next quarter or later this, have they given you an indication when it might arrive?
No, I've just heard December.
Right. Okay. So your Model Y is likely to arrive between February and May.
Oh, okay. Right.
So there's another timing factor.
Yep.
There's always a possibility, particularly at the end of this quarter, or in the next few weeks actually, that there will be some Model Y sales that have fallen through because of lack of finance or whatever.
Interest rates gone up.
And you could possibly snap one up, but that would be very opportunistic. No one can guarantee that's going to happen. So you've got a few things to think about. I think, look, the first thing to do is just go there and have a look at it first, because look, it might allay your fears, and you may go, "Oh, actually, I prefer the Model 3," and you can compare them side by side, which is a great thing.
Because I do want to get a stealth hitch for the Model 3, and it does sound like the Model Y is a bit easier and that Tesla actually supplies it, whereas the Model 3, you have to go and get it done. Has anyone done that stealth hitch?
I have, yes. And I've done it on the Model 3, and I will do it on the Model Y as well. The difference is with the Model Y, it being a factory tow bar, the Model Y will have tow mode. So the Model 3 doesn't have that, and I don't know if it ever will, which means that if I'm reversing with a trailer, it starts beeping at me because it thinks that I'm going to reverse into, the trailer.
Right.
So, and it look, if you're not doing much reversing, it's not too bad, but, it can get annoying, especially if you're reversing for, time.
Yep.
And what was the price there, Harold? I just missed it. The price is roughly the same, isn't it? So, about
1970.
Yeah, which is roughly about what the aftermarket one is for the Model 3.
Right. Okay.
Except that the Y tow package doesn't include anything other than the receiver, so you need to buy a receiver.
True. Good point.
Yep. Which you can get from Supercheap. They have various versions of that, including one that has an adjustable. The ball goes up and down on like a race, and it's got like locating pins. So that receptacle is easy to get.
Yep.
Also worth noting is it's 1,000 kilos for the Stealth and 1,500 kilos for the factory fit. So you've got
1,600.
1,600.
Yeah, 1.6 ton. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's correct.
Yep.
The Model Y.
Go, Pete.
Model Y's just got slightly higher road clearance as well. It sits a little bit higher than the Model 3. The standard range version, definitely. The performance is a little bit lower.
Right.
Sarah, just in quick summary, you're gonna if you're swapped, you'll do your $350, and you may have to wait until sometime next year.
Yep.
But on the other side, you only live once, so you really want to, since this is an important purchase, you want to make sure that now you've got choice, that you make the right choice for you.
Yep.
And also don't discount the radical 2-car family thing, which is another huge step, but it's something that a lot of us have done, and it's highly. There's nothing better, imagine, than never having to go to a petrol station, regardless of what car you're driving.
Absolutely. Yep.
There's also the
you get option, that money from the government.
There's also the option you could take delivery of your Model 3. When did you say? Roughly about December?
December.
Yeah. So you could take delivery of that for Christmas, and then you could drive that around for a couple of months, be it 5 months. And look, generally Tesla frown upon people just flipping their cars. And actually Harold can talk specifically to Tesla's policy on that. But, if you, let's say it comes, and you could order the Model Y, and worst case, if you don't go through with the purchase of the Model Y, you'll forfeit you will forfeit $350. Tesla may also ban you from ordering that car again within a 12-month period. But you can make that decision then as to whether you want to keep the Model 3 or go to the Model Y.
Yeah.
You may find that you might be in a fairly advantageous position because you would have collected the $3,500 discount, plus you would have got the cheaper pricing back in April. You may be able to actually get out of your Model 3 for no cost, or maybe even a marginal profit, in which case, that's an option as well. You could even look at renting out the Model 3 and see how you go for 6 months. And, there's all outside the box options like that as well.
Yep.
But yeah, absolutely. I would highly recommend, it's a big step, but I would highly recommend the 2 Tesla option if you can. We've got 2 Model 3s and we've got the Model Y on order. And I'm contemplating as to whether we sell one of the Model 3s or just rent them out or what we do with it. But yeah, it's a good position to be in. But you won't regret it. My wife and I, we've had hybrids or EVs. We've been a 2 EV family for over 6 years. And it's actually, more convenient than owning 2 petrol cars or 1 petrol and 1 EV.
I'll buy your Model 3, mate, because
I was going to say the same
thing. I need another Tesla.
You've already got 2 EVs, and
3. I got 3.
There's another person with a 2 EV family.
So just for reference, part of Tesla's motor vehicle, the actual order agreement, that actually you'd have one of these that you can actually look it up. But basically, it's under the no resellers discontinuation. I don't know why I can't even say that word. That's terrible. Cancellation. So Tesla and its affiliates sell the cars directly to end customers, and we may unilaterally cancel any order that we believe has been made with a view towards resale of the vehicle or that has otherwise been made in bad faith. So, and obviously, there are some people out on Facebook land that have Model Ys that are coming in, and they're putting ads on Facebook and even car sales saying, oh, I'm changing jobs and I can't have this car anymore, and it hasn't even arrived yet. It's brand new, and I only want an extra $7,000 for it above the sticker price. Yeah. So when Tesla finds out about these cars, they will simply cancel the order unilaterally, and they're in their rights to do that. But there is nothing wrong with buying the car, getting delivery of it, driving it for a few months, and then selling it. There's zero wrong with that.
Yeah.
Particularly since you're not exactly sure if you're going to keep the Model Y coming in, or you might cancel it, or you might end up having 2 cars, either at the same time or whatever.
You completely broke. You won't be able to afford a meal or anything, but that's okay.
So,
2 car payments, that's right, you'll be right.
Well, I mean, you can look at the economics of that. Unfortunately, the financing costs have gone up. I think financing now is roughly 5% interest rates from Tesla's preferred suppliers, which is Macquarie Bank and
Pepper Money,
I think it is.
It is, correct.
And I think they were actually 2.99% a couple of months ago. Now they're about 5%. But you can run the ruler over that.
No, it was 3.99% a couple of months ago. But a couple of months before that, it was 2.99.
Sorry, yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
But just look at the petrol price, and and the fact that these cars effectively have zero scheduled services for all intents and purposes. So there's a cost factor there, or cost saving.
The petrol price in September will be a lot higher.
Yeah.
The excess comes off.
Yes. Yeah. But just suss it out, Sarah. Like I said, it's your own individual decision, but it's one that you need to make. But it's great to have a look just to see, and if it means you're not going to take the Model 3 up and just wait a bit longer for the Model Y, that wait will be excruciating. But once you've received it, all that pain will be forgotten, and you'll just enjoy your car, whichever way you go. Cool. Okay, so has anyone else got any other questions, or just in case there's anyone new, please do say hello, or just interrupt.
I just wanted to, when my microphone went off, I just wanted to say that I'm going to claim Gareth as a scalp because
it's Louis the burglar. Look at him.
Hello. I didn't realise you were on.
Yeah. Hello, Gareth. I've known Gareth for quite a long time, and he was like me, a bicycle fanatic, and is still a bicycle fanatic, as am I. But I managed to, over time, inculcate the idea that EVs were great, and I think it seems to have come to pass. He's done the deed. He's made.
Well, it was my wife. She hired 3 for a day, and she enjoyed it so much she went back the next day and hired the X.
She got it for your birthday, didn't she? She hired the
yeah, or Father's Day or something like that. But yeah, she's. I think I would have been happy with any EV, but she's really a Tesla fanatic, and I like gadgets. So the cars for her, the gadgets are for me.
And then
what did you order, Gareth?
Sorry.
So what did you order?
Why?
Nissan Leaf.
Yeah.
Sports model Nissan Leaf.
You can have my Leaf.
Yes, because it's worth. It's yeah.
Well, actually, funny enough, the Leaf is unbelievably worth about 16,000, even with about 50% battery.
Is that ringgit or is that Australian dollars?
Rand.
Oh, rand. Okay. That's for sure. You talk about that.
Also, welcome, Gareth. So do you know when did you order it? Like just recently or from day one?
I had put my name in the little box to say, let me know when the Y comes up. And I didn't get a notification. I just happened to be sitting as I am in the kitchen and on one evening and flicking through, and I noticed that it wasn't notifying me anymore. It was place your order. So that was on the day of it released. It just happened to be a chance that I saw it had come open. So I ordered about 6 o'clock. And I think my original dates were November to February.
Yep.
And then it jumped forward to the 23rd of October, 23rd of August, 6th of September. And I got my VIN number. And I've just checked in when you put that link up. And it was registered on the 1st of August. So it's here somewhere.
Yes. Yep, it's on the eastern seaboard. So it will be making its way towards you. And yeah, you're going to get it in the next few weeks, which is awesome.
So yeah, hopefully I either get to bring my wife along and she can experience the whole thing, picking it up and what have you, or if she can't come with me on the day, I was thinking about parking it up in the car park at the park just here and having it come to her.
Yes,
you'll need FSD for that. So
yeah, I'm onto that.
You're on a public road, so you won't be able to do that. You could get it into the car park.
Yeah, it's in the car park.
Oh, in the car park, so you'll get it over to the car park. Okay.
Yeah,
but it doesn't work. I tried it tonight, and it made an absolute fool out of me. It just went completely the opposite way that I wanted it to go.
Hey, Damo, you've got to look at, there's been some sort of an update because I did it today with one of my clients and it couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah, it used to be like that, Pete, but I don't know. And the apps, as you know, we've had this conversation for a while.
We have, yeah.
Stuffed for ages now, and yeah, it's just no better. And it was flawless before.
Hey, what I've noticed today is previously what you would do is you had to line up your location with the circle if you wanted to come to you. But now it didn't even let me do that today, but it had already planned the journey to me. So all I did was just press on come to me. And I couldn't believe how quickly it reacted. Pretty much as soon as I pressed the button, the lights came on, the handbrake went off, and it started moving forward quite confidently.
Is it a bit faster these days? Because I remember doing it about a year ago, and we actually, Chris Lim and myself did a video for a demo at the RAC, and it sort of came over, but very hesitantly, like a timid dog in a way.
It used to go fast before, but I think what's happening with my app is because it just keeps flicking on and off. Still doing that, Pete. Remember I sent that video of flickering, and I think it's losing signal and then getting signal, losing signal, and that's what's stuffing it up.
It was my app was doing that today, but we were in a location where the reception wasn't great, so there was a Optus tower nearby, but I'm with Telstra, and same thing. It was just flicking between come to me and some other message, but really, really fast. And so I said to him, I said, I don't know if this is going to work. Might be a problem with the reception, but we'll try it. And I put my thumb down and it reacted really quickly. And I was surprised as to how fast it came to me. It wasn't hesitant at all. It just, just came straight up. I mean,
good.
Yeah, it was the most perfect summon I've had to date. But
it's awesome, Pete. And mine used to be like that. And it would actually come to me really quick, like. Yeah. But I don't know what's going on, man. There's obviously an issue with the app. They'll sort it out.
Hey, Pete.
What version?
Version.
Check. Hang on, wrong car. Here we go.
First world issues. So many to choose from.
I was complaining to Leonie today, going, "Oh, we're going to have the same black key cards with all the backup ones. How are we going to tell the difference?"
You only need one, Paul. You can.
I know. I'm just messing.
Well, actually, you don't need a key card at all. You can just need your phone, obviously.
Oh no, I still always have it on us, just in case.
Yeah. I do too, but I've never used it. So
I've used it once.
Hey, while we're on the topic of summon, I've noticed that, and I don't know if anybody else with FSD has this issue. When you hit the go forward, come back button, it never ever works the first time you hold the button down. It kind of wakes up and goes, yeah, I'm here, but it doesn't move forward or move back. When you lift your finger and then you put your finger down again on the button, then it moves. Every single time since I've had it. Is that the case?
No, it's improved. So when it first came out, it was perfect. It would always go forward and back, first time, second time, third time, no problems. But then there was a period for about 2 to 3 months where exactly what you're saying, it would never work the first time, and then you'd have to try again, and then it would always work on the second go. But for the last month or so, it's been working the way it used to work previously. It's been almost perfect.
Maybe I need to update my my app, because the car is updated as 2022-27.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. Unless I just haven't tried it for a while. I need to go and do it. I mean, it's a rather expensive gimmick. It needs to be used on occasion.
Absolutely. So, Gareth, you were saying that was one way that you might present it to your wife. I guess the other way is for you to bring her to the delivery centre. Now, there's a couple of things you might want to bring with you when you do get your car delivered, and one of them might be one of these Phantom cameras. They make really good cameras, and they go up to 1 million frames per second. So what you can do is you could set up this camera basically to observe the process, and you could also have someone with a I don't know, a 22 shotgun or something like that, and you basically, as you get to the start of the queue, you shoot the gun, start the camera, you then go through the delivery process, and you and your car will be out of that delivery center faster than the bullet. And this Phantom V2512 at 1 million frames per second might just be able to capture it.
And Harold doesn't get commission from this.
Non-sponsored.
Look, I'm trying to get the slow-mo guys to come to Osborne Park, but I mean they're busy doing other interesting YouTube videos. But it's going to be lightning fast. And the great thing is, if you've got no real questions, they will be only too happy for you to exit the premises and turn safely left at King Edward Road. But if you do have questions, obviously you can ask them. They'll be happy to answer them, or just ask them here.
I think the official time frame is 15 minutes. So they tell you that you have up to 15 minutes to ask questions, and then you'll be kindly asked to be on your merry way.
But that's the purpose of Ask Us Anything, so that you can ventilate any of those questions. So, for example, one great question that everyone will ask is, well, what do I do about inspecting the car, looking for any faults or concerns? You don't need to feel rushed to have to do that while your car is being delivered to you. You can basically, if you're happy to do so, just skip that process and do it at the comfort of your own home. Because Tesla have a policy, there's no hard number of days or whatever. It's sort of like a reasonableness policy where there's a reasonable time that can elapse depending on the situation and depending on where you live. If you live in Karratha and you've just driven your car 1,600 Ks and then you ring them up and say, hey, I've got a couple of stone chips, they're not going to be that happy with repairing them. But if you're in Perth and you find something that's of concern a few days later, just log it take photos, log it in your Tesla app as a service request, and they'll slot you in when they can, and there'll be no problems at all. So don't feel rushed either to not ask questions or that you're rushed looking at the car.
Sure, yeah.
There's plenty of time to do that later.
Lots of delivery videos on YouTube trying to get my.
We'll find really, really funny is if she's ordered one at the same time and is keeping a secret from you too.
Yeah, I find that funny. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I'd be impressed where she got the money from.
Exactly.
She upped your life insurance.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, has anyone else if there's anyone else that's new, please do just interrupt and say hello. And if not, if anyone else got any questions, that'll be cool too. And the crowd roars. Awesome. So we'll think of some other questions. There are a few other news items that I didn't put in. Getting back to the Model S and X, which only a very few of us in this room actually care about at the moment. But it's a great bit of progress, incremental progress. Obviously, the Model S and X haven't been available in Australia since the start of last year. Basically, there were a few residual ones that came in, and Europe's going to get them in the next few months. But unfortunately, that's not going to look likely for right-hand drive markets until deep into the end of next year, if not later. But
it's worth the wait.
Yeah, I hope. I guess so. Yes, it's always worth the wait.
It's worth the wait.
The hard bloody wait.
It's a long wait, but we'll wait. It's just worth waiting.
Another bit of news with S and X, they're no longer going to come with the remote. So it'll all be phone-based going forward. I presume you'll still have an option to buy it separately, but I don't think it will come with the car anymore.
What do you mean remote?
What do you mean by remote? Remote what?
No, he means the fob.
The fob,
Your fob.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, you'll have to buy it separately.
Oh, of course you do. It's part of the package.
Does anybody
like
use
frigate
them?
everything else.
Everything else is separate.
Yeah.
I use it every day. That's what I use for my Model X because that's the only way you can unlock it. I mean, you can do it via the app manually using the unlock buttons, on the app. But my car doesn't have Bluetooth unlocking in the same way and Wise do. So yeah, I'm very much used to using it all the time. And it's got a few nice features, such as if you press and hold the boot, it'll open your charge port door. Because it's actually, I'll just get the look of the fob. In fact, I've actually.
Hey, Harold, as much as you love the fob and you're used to using it, I bet you once you've got your Model Y, you'll never use it again.
When he gets his Y and his X, will he ever use one again?
No, he'll pull out his fob. He loves his fob.
Yeah, well, it's the good thing about the fob is it's just a little matchbox car that you can carry around.
It's pretty cool.
I'll just get the keys.
Women love the fob.
The fob is right here, so that's it. You can get it for a Model 3 or a Y. It's the same. Yep. The one I actually bought two, and it comes in a 3, Model 3. Oh, it doesn't say there, but there it is.
Yeah,
it's got a 3 on the top.
It's not a Y, it's a 3. Beautiful.
It's a 3.
It's a 3.
Unfortunately, technically, it's not legal for Tesla to sell it, but I'm not going to beat that drum. That's something that Tesla's going to have to sort out. But anyway.
But it's actually the same remote though, Harold, isn't it? Whether it's for a 3Y or an X?
No. The X is different because on the X, where you have... is this going to change? I'll go back to the original photo here. On the X, if you press these side buttons, that'll open the Falcon Wing doors. So on this one, you've got a button for the bonnet. You've got one for the boot, and then a center button to lock or unlock. But on the Model X, you've also got side buttons for the Falcon Wing doors that will open and close them.
Does the Model 3 fob still have the buttons and they're just disabled, or it doesn't even have the buttons?
No. And it's different shape. The Model S doesn't have the buttons either, but the Model S and the Model X remotes use different radio to the 3 and Y. So they're completely different fobs. Which is what's changing in the new S and X is they're now harmonized, so they'll be the same fob for everything.
Yeah.
I believe the new ones use Bluetooth, whereas the old ones use 433.92 megahertz.
Yep.
So they're just totally different. But it's just a personal preference. Some people might just like to have the fob as a means of doing it. But I guess you're right, Pete. Most of the time, you're just going to use your phone, which will usually work well.
Well, most of the time, you're going to not use your phone.
Or not use, that's what I mean. Yeah. Have your phone with you. And most of the time, except for when it resets or it reinstalls an operating system and then clags out Bluetooth for whatever reason, it'll work. Like in your case, Pete, where yours works most of the time, doesn't it?
Most of the time, yeah.
But not all of the time.
Not all of the time. But what I find is, I don't know if it's anything to do with my phone, but all I have to do is wake up the phone. Don't even have to log in. Just have to click on the screen to wake it up, and then it works. And once out of 100 times, I'll actually have to log into the phone. I don't think it's anything to do with the phone. I think it's just the time taken for the phone to broadcast the Bluetooth signal, presumably. But the phone just seems to go to sleep a bit.
You've got an iPhone, and they are notoriously difficult for app developers to deal with because they're very stingy with power. Because when the phones sort of want to go into low power mode, they mean it, and they'll do things like shut down whatever they consider to be non-essential Bluetooth, and Teslas are non-essential. So I think there's been a bit of toing and froing between Apple and app developers to get the Bluetooth to be a bit more friendly or a bit more wasteful of energy. In other words, working most of the time. I think Ken, you might be able to speak to that.
I could geek out at length about it, but I won't.
No.
For the Bluetooth low energy proximity, actually, the phone doesn't need to do anything other than have the token loaded. So, in fact, that isn't an issue with the software dev. But what can happen is if the token gets unloaded, then it's not there when the car goes to scan for it. Anyway. But yes, the Bluetooth stack on Apple is awful. Just ask the guys who tried to write the proximity app for COVID. That's a whole nother essay for another day. But Bluetooth Low Energy works really, really well, and I'm looking forward to having a car that works on.
Yes, I'm just looking forward to having a car that's not my car. But anyway,
like that one.
Now, something that these new cars can use is, I'll just spotlight myself momentarily, are these. And these are, as it says, sexy buttons.
You bought some.
I've got 4 sexy buttons in black and white, although you'll find out in a moment that actually doesn't matter what color you order. And you can tell this is expensive because it's sort of got Apple-esque boxing, whereby you've got this precision.
What are they? Harold? They're about 400, eh?
Yeah, about that. I think it's 200 and something euros, 290 euros. So basically, this thing comes out. This is actually holding the buttons. So the buttons are in just a little holder. And you can actually peel back. I'll just take one of these buttons out.
This is a live unboxing.
This is a live unboxing.
Yeah.
And I just got to make sure I keep focused. And that's the button there. It actually comes, you'll find out in a moment that it comes with a black surround. So you can either have black with white surround or black on black. And there's a self-adhesive sticker on the back where you can actually stick it onto part of the car, part of the dash, wherever you want to put it. The buttons actually come apart. Just find the little thing for it. Great TV, there we go. So if we pull this apart, this little cover comes off, and they've actually got black version of this, and then the actual button itself comes apart. You've got the little circuit board there, which I think's Bluetooth. I'm not exactly certain. And you can take this board out, and at the back there's actually the lithium cell in it.
Battery and a button.
It's got a battery and a button. Yep. So that's basically these buttons here. You get 4 in this pack. And then the next part you have is underneath. You obviously have to connect this to the car in some way. Now, firstly, what you do is, I don't have the instructions, but there is a back panel at the back of your center console that you can use, if you can be bothered, use this little pry tool to pop it out. Or as Pete did, you just use your fingernails and just pull hard. It then comes... These are the different surrounds, so you can have black surrounds. So if you order it, don't worry about ordering black or white, because I presume if you order the black ones, you'll get white surrounds anyway as a spare. But you then have, this is actually the adapter that you put into your car. So what you do is there's actually a connector at the back of your center console that you pull apart, and then you basically splice this in between. So if they're mated like that, you then pull it apart, put one side there, and then this bit, which is a standard OBD port, there is actually...
OBD, by the way, stands for onboard diagnostics.
Yes, so this is the OBD adapter, which is used for the buttons to talk to this, and this actually talks to the CAN bus. So then all you do is you just mate those two together. You have that connected to your car, and then you just tuck that behind the panel, put the panel back, and then you learn this into your phone, and you can use your phone to program it, and there are various functions that you can do. So that's the live unboxing of the sexy buttons.
Is the splitter, is that the same for all Teslas? I recognize the...
Oh. Yes. So
you don't have to specify your car.
So as a matter of fact, I didn't realize this. Let me just spotlight myself again. So this is the one that comes with sexy buttons. This is what they provide. And this is one I bought on Amazon. In fact, you can probably see the part number there. They call it an OBD diagnostic adapter. And that's for Model 3 and Y 2019 to 2021 build. Don't be fooled about the 2021, it just means onwards. So that's the same adapter, and I think that cost about $16 off the top of my head from Amazon. And I got it sort of like the next day. But Sexy Buttons has one already, so I've kind of got a couple of spares now.
Ooh.
Can you still use Scan My Tesla at the same time, or do you need to daisy chain your OBD?
Oh, no, you can. So with the Sexy Buttons, you can use, it's compatible with Scan My Tesla, but you've got to connect to it using Wi-Fi.
Okay, yeah.
So, but if you do that, and I was thinking, oh, that's going to mess up your internet on your phone, but of course I think your phone's clever enough these days to actually have Wi-Fi that has no internet, but still use GSM to get internet. I think that works.
Yeah, as long as that thing doesn't give you a default router, then the phone will continue to use your 4G for the rest of the internet.
Yep. So I did look up, if you look up Scan My Tesla, which we did the other day, there is a list of compatible devices. I'm trying to do this cold.
They're not cheap though.
No, they're not. And especially for, oops, no, that wasn't it. Recommended, no, adapters, sorry. They're not at all cheap, especially if it's iPhone, unfortunately, because again, iPhone with Bluetooth is just a pain because you've got to buy the MX Plus, which is expensive.
That one's about $150 on, or $160 on Amazon.
That's right, but you can use sexy buttons for Apple, but you can't use it for Android at the moment. No, sorry, Android beta. There is sexy buttons.
Oh, cool. So you can buy sexy buttons and you don't need an OBD MX Plus.
Precisely. Yeah. So that makes sexy buttons a little bit sweeter. But it just depends on whether you've got a use for them or not.
Harold, I've just come across yesterday something called Tessie, which is an app. It's about $50 a year or $200 for a lifetime. And it doesn't need an OBD dongle. It accesses the stuff on the car. I installed it last night and I went out for a drive and a charge this morning. And it's told me that my battery is down to 47.5% kilowatt hours left. It's lost 8% in 60,000 kilometres. I thought that was pretty reasonable. It's actually, above the average for the fleet, as it says.
Yeah, I've had Tessie for some time now. It's very good. Very good. It's basically an alternative app. The only thing it won't do
is voice controls. I did email the guy and said, I've got a Samsung Galaxy Watch. Can I use voice controls through that? And if so, how? And he wrote back and he says, not at the moment. It's the project I'm working on. So you can, walking up to your car, go, hey, Google, I better not say it because everything will go crazy here. Open frunk or open the boot, and you can be tracking stuff. So that's quite useful.
So are you on speaker there, Nigel? You got speakers, not headphones, not earpieces?
Yeah.
Hey, Google.
Hey, Google.
It didn't hear you. I thought that was actually
you need to take your background off.
Yeah. So if I go to health, it says battery health 91.4%. I started off with a 51.7 kilowatt hour battery and it's 47.2 usable.
I wonder how it knows that because, to be honest, when each battery is first made, none of them have a fixed kilowatt hour capacity. They're all slightly different. So I guess what they're saying is they're comparing your battery health to what's usable compared to what is the average of what was thought to be usable when it was first made.
Yeah, I don't know
how still an estimation. Because there's nothing in the CAN bus data that gives you the original capacity. The only way to get your original capacity is to plug a dongle in or use that app first up when you first get your car. That's the best way to get a baseline.
Well, I'm going to add the Model Y as I pick it up from King's whatever. What's the name of the road? I can't remember.
King Edward Drive.
That's the one.
Yep.
Now that Tessie app, Nigel, that's sort of similar to TESLab, TEZLAB, but Scan My Tesla, that's got things like, the actual watt hours or kilowatt hours left in your battery. Harold was telling me today things like temperature and the battery temperature. And
if you put the OBD dongle in, it's got a ton more information.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give this one a go because, well, for $50 for the year and you get 2-week free trial, which I started last night, I thought I'd give it a go.
Can you add more than one cast to that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
If you're a family like Pete, who's got 3 or 4 Teslas, you can have as many cars as you like.
It's got 7.
Can't have too many Teslas.
No, that's right.
Cool. So hopefully it'll work well with the 3, the Y, the X, the S, the Cybertruck, the Semi,
Roadster,
Robo-taxi,
batteries,
sexy cars, basically.
Sexy cars. That's right. That's what we aim to have is
Tesla's
a whole lot
phone.
of sexy cars.
iPhone. That'll never happen.
Right.
So I took the Model Y for a test drive on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, tell us.
Go for it.
Yes, yeah, I was very impressed with the height factor. You know, it's obviously a Zimmer frame changer. That's what I'm looking at as, because anyone that uses a Zimmer frame will not need to use the Zimmer frame because it's just a straight in slide with the seat, which I was very impressed with, actually getting in and out.
Why I'm getting it.
I mean, that's one of the big factors. I first noticed that, you know, getting in and out of the car was very easy. As a SUV, I found it really nice. Yeah, the open glass at the top I felt was really clever and really good. And the boot space was fantastic. There's definitely a lot of boot space. I couldn't believe how much space was in the boot. And overall, it just felt a little bit more roomier. Definitely a roomier car. It wasn't the takeoff wasn't there like the Model 3 Performance. But you know, most people don't drive like me or a few other people. Yeah, exactly. So. You know, it wasn't there. It was a wet day, last Saturday. The car really stuck to the road. I was very impressed by how it was just sticking to the road the whole time. I had no issues with the suspension at all. I didn't feel any different to me, and I went over bumps. It just felt normal. Yeah, overall, I was really impressed. The sound system sounded great. Yeah, it was a good quality car. There's no question about it. Me personally, I still love driving the Model 3 Performance. I feel 25 years younger driving the Performance. Every time I get in it, I just feel, you know, exhilarated and fresh. You know, but as an SUV, I'd definitely go to the Model Y, no question about it. But the next car after the Cybertruck for me would definitely be a Plaid, Model S Plaid, because once you've got that speed and that thrill of the speed and the takeoff, all you want is more, and that's what the Plaid would deliver for me. So that would be my next thing. But I couldn't fault the Model Y. I really couldn't. I was just really impressed by it. I thought it was a beautiful car, and definitely the colours. The blue. We drove a blue car, and I thought the colour looked great. I mean, I was looking at the car like all over it, and it just looked great. It looked like whatever they did to it, they just really made sure it's perfect, and it was. So yeah.
Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome.
Very impressed. So,
yeah, and it is an impressive car. And I mean, Jared, once you try the performance version, I mean, geez, I really wish that, or I really hope that there are some performance demo cars at least coming.
Yeah, maybe that made a difference. But, you know, it just felt like it felt like the base model for me. It just didn't have the power.
It does. It's only got 220 kilowatts of power, so it's nothing compared to the 300 and whatever it is that you've got in Model 3.
Jared, size matters, not power.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, very comfortable. I mean, getting in and out of the car was just like getting out of a normal SUV. It was great. Yeah. And that makes a big difference when you get older and the hips a bit harder and stuff. So it makes.
When you put the seats down, I can lay in the back, stretched out, and the boot will still close.
Yeah. That's going to be Pete's accommodation next. It's going to be
next time he takes the Synergy chick out for a drive.
That's going to be next Airbnb. No, that'd be no way. He'll be building a spare room on the side of the house if she ever comes back. He'll have to move out for sure.
I've camped in my Model 3, and it was dreadfully uncomfortable. What do you think the Y will be? Would be nice. The seats are nice and flat.
It's a lot bigger. It's a lot.
What was uncomfortable, Ant? I've camped in the Model 3 as well. I thought it was great.
The fact that the parcel shelf gets in the way, the seats are up at an angle.
You can make them completely flat. You just take the cushions out. Yeah. So the bottom, on the Model 3, the actual seat, not the backrest, but you can actually, there's what do you call this, lever from both sides, and you just press the levers in, and the seat just lifts off, and then you can make it completely flat if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
But I actually prefer it on an angle because it takes a bit more pressure off your back.
You got to unplug a couple of cables first.
I couldn't believe how much room was in the back. Like sitting in the back seat, it just felt like there's a lot more room than the Model 3 in the back seat. There was more leg room. It just seemed like it was, I don't know.
Well, there is, Jared, because you can actually put your feet under the seat in front of you because you've got those seat risers. So the seats are actually, the front seats are standard Model 3 seats, but they've got about a half a foot riser or 6-inch risers that bolster them up. And then you can actually slide your feet under the seat very comfortably. So that even then makes an even more leg room than there sort of really is.
I definitely found sitting in the back a lot more comfortable, that's for sure.
And with the rear seats for the Y, you can click there's a button just behind you. You click that and you can push the seat back a little bit. So you've got an angle. So it's even more comfortable and even more room.
I found that when you
good.
When you open the back up and you want to put something in there, having those latches on the side, you just pull them and the seat just flips forward. It's like, that's cool. You don't have to go around and adjust the seat and flip it down. It just does it automatically. I thought that's cool. It's simple.
And it's so quick. It actually smashes it down. Like it's like full on just slaps it down.
Leonie and I were a bit like kids. We were like, flick it and it's bang, bang, and then go like, flick it back up. Yeah. Hopefully that's covered under warranty.
That in our Lexus, and it was the same mechanism. It would just slam down the seat like he was pissed off at you or something. But that was a car that was 8 years old, and it had that in the back seats. So it's been around for a while, but not enough automakers use it. It's such a great feature. Should be on more cars.
It's a little bit like soft close toilet seats. It's something that's been done for quite a while, but not everyone makes them.
It's big in Japan.
The paint quality. I was going to say that's for mine. On mine, I've got that. It's good.
The paint quality on the Model Y looked, I don't know what they've done, but it just looked even better than the Model 3. I don't know if it's the same paint quality, but it looks like the blue was just beautiful. I mean, I'm not a big blue fan, but it was really nice.
You know what? There probably is a difference because the Californian ones, they had like low VOC. So the paint's a little bit different, so it can't be as thick and that sort of stuff. That's why I got the multi-coat, because it's got more layers to it. So you're probably right. There is probably a difference with the paint.
Oh. But
it
Pete
looked
had
awesome.
The same problem with the paint with the Model 3 that he had. He had problems with the black that he had. But I looked at the paint really hard in the trim, and it just looked like they got everything spot on.
Yeah, I've threatened to nick Leonie's car actually.
I think the blue looks beautiful. I didn't get to see the red, but the blue looked really nice. So it's definitely a game changer, that's for sure. It's awesome.
Any idea where they fit the other two seats?
Yeah. If you look at the sub, there's a sub section that's only, Pete, is about, 20 centimeters deep. It's not very deep. Yeah. It's sort of, they sit them facing forwards, literally jammed up behind the back seats. They're really kid seats. They're not adult seats at all. You've really got to be a short individual, like a fairly young kid, to be able to use them effectively. I did find, courtesy of Chris,
5'7", anything taller, and you'll be hitting your head on the.
I did find. Sorry, I didn't find. Chris just sent me through the chat a short video of someone actually sussing out laying in the car. So here it is.
And charge the car and carry on today. Right, see you in a bit. Just making my bed like a good boy there before I go out for a day. Do you know what, even just kind of sitting here, that's kind of just kind of sat on my folded seat. I've moved the backrest of this forward a bit, so time to go out.
Actually, that wasn't as great as I thought it was.
No, it was the sexy lady.
This guy flies solo. But yeah, I'll try and get another video that actually shows it. I think Ryan Shaw does a pretty good video of the Model Y where he goes through all the dimensions and different versions of folding the seats up and down. But Ant, to your original question, for all intents and purposes, the Model Y folds flat. I mean, there's a very slight angle, but it's so slight that once you've got a thin mattress on it, you basically don't notice it. So unlike the 3, in standard configuration, the Y is effectively flat.
And also on the 3, there's the parcel shelf, which sort of gets, I found got in the way. I mean, I did have it, admittedly, I had a thick inflatable mattress. So there was only, I don't know, 6 inches, you know. I'm only kidding. Between myself and the parcel shelf.
Yes.
It's probably about 30 centimeters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually like the shelf because I put my iPad on there and I could watch, you know, a movie. It was just a perfect place for the iPad.
I use Netflix. I was you know, watching movies, and then I realized that because this is in Ravensthorpe, sort of looked up, and noticed that the stars were there, and it was really, really nice. It was like sleeping under the stars. Very, very, very nice without the city light noise.
Well, the Y will be better because the entire roof is just one piece of glass. There's no cross beam at all that the Model 3s have got. So it's a spectacular view.
That will be out on YouTube soon, Harold, with Camping with Pete in a couple of months.
Camping with Pete. That sounds like a YouTube channel.
It does. Camping with Pete. How to do it on the road.
I slept in mine at Deemore Station a couple of nights ago with looking at the stars. It was very pleasant. A memory foam mattress was good as gold.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Bloody cold, mind you, up there.
Oh, you got camping mode there, Pete, so you can keep the aircon going.
We drove from Southern Cross to you and me, and I managed to get there from 100% down to about 17%, I think, when I got there, with an overnight stay halfway in between. So I was a little bit cautious about that. But one thing that did disturb me a little bit, my mapping all disappeared because there's, you know, the 400 kilometres between Southern Cross and you and me, there's no cell phone. But we drove past a mine which must have had their own cell phone network, and all of a sudden everything came back again and then disappeared again about 10 kilometres later.
Oh.
Is there any way of getting the mappings stored in the system? Does anyone know?
Don't think
Very
so.
good question. No. Android Auto, you can do so, the mappings, but I don't know about the Tesla.
What Tesla can do is what Google Maps does. So with Google Maps, all you have to do is bring up
offline
the location, and zoom in and zoom out a little bit, and it downloads the map temporarily onto your phone. So even if you lose signal, you can still use the map.
Yeah.
What's scary there is that if you are in one of those areas and you get you have a problem with the car, then getting hold of the RSE or whoever you get hold of could be difficult. Even if you have Telstra, you need a sat phone.
Starlink.
Yeah, but
Starlink with you.
But you know, the alternative is being in a ICE car, and we all know that ICE cars are more likely to have problems.
Totally agree, Pete. At least if you're an electric, the worst that can happen is a crash of some description.
Or you know, you can blow out a tire or what have you, and you know,
a tire at least you can. Well, unless you blow the sidewall, you can generally fix. But yes, far less chance of something happening in an electric car.
And if you want internet, you can just drag a dish with you and just strap it to the glass roof of your car. I mean, I don't see the problem with that at all.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Apparently somebody's done it already.
Apparently so. Some idiot in Western Australia, apparently.
Yeah.
Clever.
Very smart.
But Chris, thanks for that other video. It's a bit crap, to be honest. The guy's a bit of a toss. He does something like this.
So if you put the mic on this height, and now you got little legs. On here now, it actually holds my weight. And for the last part of the ocean,
originally,
you eventually gonna people. So, and because you have that much room now, you can literally move the bed forward so much. But as you can see, the problem now is this.
Is that a dream case?
If your head is here, you're eventually going to fall down
so.
when you sleep. Probably not, but still, those things.
That's one version where the folds are along the middle quarters or thirds of the mattress. There's another version that Pete and I have got. Well, I think we've got two different versions, but they're similar, where they have long length strips that Velcro together. And I think they have like a cantilever sort of board so that it juts out where the gap is, and it's just using the weight of your shoulder to hold your head up. Basically, it's cantilevered. But those mattresses are pretty good.
I've got one right here. I can show you if you like. If you hang on one sec.
Yeah, cool.
So have you got a dream case?
No, I haven't got a dream case. I just got something from China.
Yeah.
Just had that near you, did you, Pete? just pull the lounge out.
I think you were a bit too friendly with it, didn't you, Chick, last Tuesday?
Pull the lounge out. And this laying around the house.
What's Pete trying to sell this week?
Yeah, on Pete's show.
So that's one section, isn't it, Pete? That's one strip.
Correct. That's one.
Oh, he's gone. Internet's gone.
Oh, yeah, we've lost your audio.
My internet dropped out. No way.
Might be noise cancelling, or did it? No.
It's muted.
Pete.
It's Pete cancelling.
I can still hear you.
I gotcha. No, you got you now.
I can still hear you.
Okay, show us.
Hey, is there a late night version called Ahead of the Perv?
Boom, boom.
Oh, God. But yeah, so it just opens up like that. And this being the hard part that goes on the bottom. And I don't know if you'll fit in the camera, but that's it there.
Yeah.
But Pete, the hard part, how long is the hard part? Is it the whole length of that? Oh,
No,
right. No.
Just
that's the length there. Yeah, that bit's hard, isn't it? It's got a hard bottom.
Yes, correct.
Yes. Yeah, which means that when that juts off, about a third of it's off into just air, then the rest of your body will hold down that board. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, now you're frozen. I think you're on Starlink.
Yeah, I just got hit out too. Pete, is that when you come back? Is that the single package? Pete,
he's back. No, he's back.
That mattress, is that the get out of the house?
Oh, right. Nice.
Oh, so that's what it is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a bit of, I don't know what it is, but it's fairly light, but still rigid
asbestos.
enough.
It's a bit of asbestos. The piece of asbestos from the back. Before
my uncle Rolf used to make music with them.
Yes.
He's still making music, but he's using something else.
Wobble board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So there's what, 2 or 3 pieces, lengthways?
So, Peter, is that just a single bed? Is that?
Hang on. So, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So Paul. No, go, Paul. No, you asked the question. Go and ask Pete.
Yeah. So you know how that's 3 pieces in one length. So is there like multiple pieces, like another 2 or 3?
Yeah. If this is married.
Yeah, this is one of 3. So there's 3 pieces, and each piece has got 3 sections to it. So there's 9 sections across 3 pieces.
Is it Velcro, Pete? Is that how it clicks together?
I haven't actually gone that far. I've only opened it today. So
no. Can you see on the sides? There should be. Has it got the Velcro lip or whatever?
No, there's no Velcro actually on here, but I'm not sure if there is any in the package to help tie it together.
Yep.
So how much was it?
You got it for free.
This was the test pack. Maybe you can pull it up, Harold. I can't even remember how much it was. Nowhere near as much as the Dream Case. The Dream Case is just ridiculously expensive. Yeah. But this was fairly reasonable relative to the Dream Case. Where did I get it from? I can't even remember.
There's something like that on Amazon that costs $477 on the Australian Amazon site.
Can you put on in chat, please, Nigel, so I can bring it up?
Yeah, if you go to the Amazon site and click single guy, needing somewhere to stay, it drops down and shows you the mattress. It's really, And it comes up with this other package that you can fill out. What was mine is now hers. That one. It's a new package that you can put in there.
So,
oh, that one.
Yeah, so there's that one there, which is 477. There's that one there, which is 533. That one, which is 142. There's a whole.
I think I got the Yonzi. I think that's what I might have gotten, Nigel.
So I just had a look at the.
Yeah, go.
Sorry, I just had a look at the TestMat website, and in Aussie dollars, it's 394 for the Model 3, and for the Model Y, it's 394 as well. So pretty sure it's the same one for both, and it comes with a.
Or you could do what Rob Dean did and just get a mattress from Clark Rubber and cut it down a bit.
That's what I was going to do.
I did that as well, or I just had one of those blow up, rolls, and I put in two of those. They overlapped each other a little bit, and that was pretty good. But I've just found that it just took too much room, whereas this, that's it blown up. But what you do is when you put it into the bag, you've got straps, and you put your knee on it and get all the air out of it. And you can see it squeezes right down.
Oh, right. So it's like those very thin inflatable ones that with a little knob on the end.
Yeah, like a duffel bag, Pete. You've got like a duffel bag that it goes in with straps, and then you just compress it all down to really small.
Yeah, exactly.
I just use memory foam mattress, single bed.
That's effectively what's inside this anyway, I think.
Yeah.
Pete, can someone send the link, please? I'm a bit lost. Sorry.
TESMAT.com.
So it's from the US then?
Yeah, but they ship to Australia.
Okay.
And you can pay in Aussie dollars. So actually, here, I'll see if I can.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Someone's got it.
Yeah, what about the roof where the sun comes through, Pete? What's the plan there?
You sleep at night. There's no sun at night.
Don't sleep on the roof, mate.
Yeah, but, you get the.
No, there's actually one very clever accessory.
Blindfold?
You know what I'm talking about, Harold, don't you? I can't remember.
Hotel room?
No, it's like a louver type setup.
It's for the Model Y.
You've got concertina. They meet at the middle, and they've got like runners either side of the. I can't remember, Pete.
Where are we? In Denmark now. Louvers.
Need some memory foam there, Harold.
An airline eye shade.
Eye shade. Oh, that's gold.
Timmy.
So Peter Harris looking very relaxed there.
Yeah, I was. You're right. It looks like a coffin. It's a little worrying.
Yeah. Yeah. Steady up. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, I got in before you, Jared.
Yeah, I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it. I was,
no, I don't wish that for Pete. Pete's nice. Yeah, I was just saying, how. Yeah.
You do look very comfortable, Pete. I must admit.
I am, mate.
Are you at the Ritz-Carlton tonight?
Yep.
Oh, that's nice. It looks very comfortable.
And I'm going to slum it at the Kewdale Tavern on Sunday.
Oh, good. I'll see you there.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Oh, yes, it's actually worth mentioning for anyone that didn't get the email on Monday that, yes, we do have a casual meetup at the Kewdale Tavern starting at 11 a.m. for a few hours. So that should be great. Everyone's obviously invited. And even bring your friends that aren't Tesla owners and are just Tesla curious, and it's a great thing to a great social outing and totally casual.
Is it fancy dress?
Were you?
I thought it was going to be fancy dress, Harold.
What? No.
I thought it was I was going to come as Santa Claus. Oh, sorry. I thought it was fancy.
No, we've had Christmas in July, and now it's August, Jared. So
yeah, but I was doing America where they're just a little bit behind.
Right.
Yeah,
you can do Thanksgiving,
Harold,
Jared.
wait a while. It's called Wait a While.
Wait a while. We'll see you there, Alex. You'll see you on Sunday. You making the big drive from Mandurah?
Yeah, I'm making the big trek from Mandurah. Why not, Jared?
There'll be there's charges there. You can charge up. It's two
actually, I'm not sure if Alex will necessarily make it because it seems that
Oh yeah, my
Alex.
video.
Alex seems to be fond of getting involved in certain situations, and the situation he got involved with, which is unsurprising, really, being the kind of person he is, was this one. Actually, I might just mute it so I don't get a copyright infraction. Yeah. So here's Alex just minding his own business, and clearly in the
Alex was the guy that you'd hit. Seriously?
No, not hit.
Yeah, the ute pushes the other guy off the road, and he tries to get out of his car.
Yes. Just in case you missed that, Alex, you're on autopilot, aren't you? You're completely on auto.
I was on lane keeping at the time.
Yes.
And the car basically just said, "No, I don't like this." So he just basically jolted me to the right.
So bear in mind, if we go back a little bit, that what is that? That's not that's a Celica, isn't it? Something like that. Has just overtaken him fortuitously. Yeah.
But the Tesla wouldn't have sent you into the Celica, surely.
No, but then it might have just clipped the door instead.
Yeah, that's good. Pulled out.
Bloody hell.
Unbelievable.
But watch how it changes lane. It changes into the lane.
Right out, yeah.
With zero intervention.
Wow. How good's that?
That's impressive. That's why you have a Tesla.
That's good.
That's why you have a Tesla.
That guy would be dead.
Can't people just sell trucks in a car park and sit on the side of the road? Yeah. Like, what are they doing now?
They're trying to push someone off the road and then step out onto the road in the middle of the freeway. It's crazy.
Well, I dare say if he had been hit, that would have been kind of instant karma, wouldn't it? But
yeah, totally. I mean, what happened to the good old days? We just gave someone the bird. You know, that's
exactly right.
Just give them the bird and then drive on. It's all good.
We all have to wave and be nice to people now. You know?
Jared, exactly that point about the bird. I had a disconcerting thing driving through Brookfield Estate down in Margaret River. Turning right at 20 kilometres an hour, this guy in his 30s, bearded with a knitted hat, setting a scene here, put all his shopping into his one hand, and then as I drove past, never seen the person before, and I put it down to some kind of petty jealousy.
No, what it was, I can explain it right now. You're in Margaret River, and that's where Nigel hangs out a lot. Obviously, Nigel's pissed that guy off.
He's referring to the other Nigel Saunders, not me.
That's definitely what it was. So I can see that now. Unfortunately, you're going to get that element of people out there. I mean,
it does happen. I had that today where I wanted to get off the freeway, and this guy sped up to not let me get off. So I just dropped it.
Oh, that's normal Perth behaviour, isn't it?
Yeah, but so I just dropped it, went in, got that, and he followed us off, and then he went past and he's waving at us, and I'm going, okay, whatever. Take a chill pill, dude.
I was just driving past this construction site near the school, or on the school grounds recently, near my house, and drove the Tesla around the corner, and I saw these builders going, flipping me the bird and whatnot. So I went around the circle. I came back and went, "Hey, how'd you like to go for a ride?" And I took them for a ride in the car, and they were suitably impressed. And hopefully they won't behave like that again.
That's a fabulous idea. That's great.
Yeah.
Education is always the answer, no question.
Yeah, they looked like they were, they weren't being aggressive and flipping the bird. They were just going,
Tesla tosser.
I saw a friend of mine who's a real full-on, built his car and he's built his tray and built this and he's into his engine. And he said to me the other day, he said, Jared, I'm crazy thinking about buying a new car now because it's all going battery. They can see it now. Some people are understanding the way the world's going, and that is how it's heading. Whether it's a Tesla or a Leaf or whatever it is, or a Kona, it's the way it's heading. That's for sure.
Well, we're well over 2% now in terms of sales, and and it would be much more had Shanghai not closed down for a little while.
100%.
And that's got to make an impact, because before people didn't know what it was. Now they know what it is. And not in the not too distant future, a lot of their friends will have Teslas and other EVs. And
I think the
then
Model
it'll just be normal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think was it Robin Denham said last week or so that she fully anticipates that we'll have double. Oh, yeah. Did she say 100,000?
She said double the car park, so it'll be 52,000 or something.
52,000. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's approaching what, 4%?
Yeah, it's going to be like nothing to everything. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
She said that were. She said
it
that
could highlight the shortage of chargers, I think.
Yes.
I think that'll become a real issue. And I was a bit disappointed today. I think you've said before at Karrinyup, you're limited to 80% now. But if you're a traveller and you think, I'll go there to charge up, you can't get 100%. And I think we've got to look after the country people in terms of charging.
No, you can. Pete. What you do is when you first turn up, and so you've selected up to 100%, it will initially automatically go to 80%. So what you should do is just sit in your car for a couple of moments, let it do that, particularly if it's highly occupied. Then you can actually override the slider and take it back up to 100%, and it won't do it again. But it'll have the notification that says you're in a high-use supercharged location. And
I was there today, and there was only 2 of us there, but the same restriction applied. I didn't know you could override it.
Yeah, you can. No, you absolutely can in times when you want to. It's just trying to preemptively be polite for people that are only opportunistically charging or whatever.
I'm thinking of the travellers because I think they're very important to expand the EV knowledge and all the rest of it, because you want those people to have the same advantage we've got. And I think it's so important for travellers to be catered for in every town or every city.
Yeah. And if the travellers, when they come from the country, come to the charger and drop off a box of lemons, I'm pretty sure that the people at Tesla will love that. Like, the give at the time will be good. So,
Speaking of travelling, I came across this image, and you may think that's a pretty clever cartoon, and it's like, what the hell does this have to do with Tesla?
Is that his pop? Is he looking at his pop?
It's entirely possible. So you go, well, why is this guy? Is he gone mad on Ask Us Anything at the 103rd episode and shown this sort of cartoon? But I'll just close this image, and then I'll just scroll out a little bit. And this image is actually on Tesla's website, and it's going to get launched into space, in 17 hours and 53 minutes.
Wow.
So this was a thank you to a certain number of Tesla owners back in 2018 that were part of the referral
program
award process.
Oh, yeah.
And as part of that process, they got to submit a photo of their choosing. And that photo...
Are you on there, Harold?
No.
Oh.
So, and then it basically goes into this collage, whatever you call it, whatever.
So cool.
So I was, for some reason at random, I was just cruising around going, oh yeah, interesting photos. Some have got sort of cartoons and stuff. And then as I was sort of scrolling along, I saw this and I went, oh, that's a bit Aussie, and obviously found it. So it's got a whole lot of images of people's choosing all over the place, and you can actually share each image that has been taken. But yeah, this is going to go on to SpaceX's next flight in 7 hours.
They really should have the photo of Pete Petrosky when he was a tennis player. Young one. I reckon that'd be far more interesting up in space.
Yeah, absolutely. And perhaps Pete may prefer it to be up in space than down on Earth.
Absolutely.
But
I'm going to go, guys. Good night.
Bye, Jared.
Take care, Jared.
See you all on Sunday.
Look forward to it.
Brief. This is a bit early, Jared. Come on.
I've got to go pick someone up from the airport, unfortunately. I got suckered into... I said to him, do you know what an Uber is? Yeah, come and pick me up.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking Chris to the airport, Chris Jones, at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I do sympathise, but
this is coming in now. So so I'll see you all on Sunday, and it's fancy dress on Sunday. Best dress wins. I want to see you guys.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Or
dressed, you definitely win. All right, take care, Jared. We'll see you in a few sleeps.
Yeah, Jared.
Let's see, guys.
You better take a sick bag with you, mate, because they'll be vomiting because it's a bit rough as guts out there.
Yeah, no dramas. All good.
All right, now as part of the process of getting a good night's sleep, as Pete was talking to before, and again, thanks to my executive producer, Chris, here is that which Pete has bought, which is basically a double louver. So it basically concertinas from either side, from the front to the back. And it's quite cool, actually.
Oh, I like that.
Oh man, I wish I knew about that before I did the.
Well, you do now, Paul.
Yeah,
so
but I'm not cheap though.
She'll kill me if I buy another.
Is that for the Y?
Yes. And I dare say, if you're asking the question how much it is, you can't afford it. So it's not about the price; it's about the value. It's $899.
Is that Yank?
I probably.
I'm pretty sure I did pay that much, Harold. So I think I got it from Teptes, but I tried to search for it there and I couldn't find it. So I don't know if they've taken it off or if they've sold out or whatever.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I didn't pay nowhere near that much. I mean, it wasn't cheap; it was expensive, but I don't think it was that much. I mean, I recall it being something like 600-700 Aussie. So that looks like it's US. So
yes. There is a 10%. You can use a code to get 10% discount for the next days.
Cool.
But whoops.
It's not really comparable, but the MG-ZS that we've got has that built in and it's motorized. It kind of moves.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it retracts the whole way. So it's a very good feature, actually. Yeah.
Even the which is the one that's got on the rear windows? It's not. It is transparent. It's more of a shade rather than a complete blockout. It's on the. Is it the ID4 on the VW? No. I think it's on the Ioniq 5, the Hyundai. On the Ioniq 5, yeah, the rear windows has got a. So in between the window and the trim, you can pull out a little blind and hook it onto the top. It's a retractable blind, but just for the rear window.
Cool. Yeah. So there you go. So that's what Pete will be. Pete will be shunning the stars and just going the louvers. It's very nice. Very nice.
Just you have to give somebody a couple of months, and somebody will email it to somebody in China, and like it'll be on an AliExpress for like half the price.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. In fact, if we just Google Tesla Model Y sunshade cover, I reckon, it'd be on AliExpress for sure.
You all, I'm going to leave.
Right, Ant, take care, mate.
See you.
Actually, Pete's right, and Pete, it's actually on Teptes, and
okay.
Here it is, $597.99, but that's probably US, but it's still significantly cheaper than the 800 and whatever it was, $900.
Yeah.
And it's also got double pockets by the look of it, so it's actually double insulated. Effectively, it's got a full-on insulation coating. I mean, you've got an air gap, so it's pretty good.
Because the only downside to sleeping in the 3 or the Y is that the sun wakes you up as soon as, at dawn, obviously. So this is
a shade for the roof and fit that in, rather than spend that much money.
Yeah.
It's 170 Australian.
The thing is, this is quite because I've got the shade for the Model 3, and I just sort of pull it out and then I put it back in, and it's quite. There's nowhere really to store it. I mean, you can collapse it, but whereas this one, it comes with the sides, the trim around the sides, and somehow you install that. And then what you can do is you can just sort of use the louvers and open and close it at will. So I quite like that ability.
Sounds cool.
Mm.
So is that manual or is that motorized?
No, manual. And it's got magnets in the middle. That's how they start together.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Paul, you want the motorised one controlled by the app as well, don't you?
Of course I do.
So you can get sunshades. So there's a 4 set for $73 from Tesserae's.
That's for a Model 3, though.
Oh, I've got the Tesla one.
Funny, I actually went to say Model Y. Oh.
I've got the Tesla Model Y one.
Yeah, no.
I've got it already. Cool.
I thought I searched for sunshade. Oh, Model 3. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Oh, out of stock.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're out of stock. So $77. Oh, so you got the 2 pieces, and this is clearly so you get that rigidity because it's only one. Oh, so Chris is. Hang on. So let me highlight. Wow, Chris, that's huge.
So that's a legit one.
Yep. That's a proper one.
Just the Tesla one.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yep. Yeah.
That one is very good, but it's transparent, as you can see. So it's not there to. It's not designed to be a blockout.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you can. I mean, cheap one is just put a sheet in between that and that when you want to go to sleep.
Aluminium foil, mate, or blockout.
Yeah.
You could get like blockout curtain or something or whatever, and
actually, I saw some, the silver insulation blowing down the road. I should have grabbed that. It was like a huge roll.
Bit of sisolation, that'll do the trick.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think from Abstract Ocean, which we don't really use much in Australia, but I presume
I don't use it anymore.
Not Tesserae's, but there's a few others that you can do that sort of. It's bubble wrap that's got foil either side. I think gold on one side and black on the other, and that there's a custom cut panel for each window and whatever, all the glass on your car, including your windscreen. So that's what Bjorn Nyland uses when he camps out. So it keeps the summer midnight sun out, basically.
I saw the Dreamcase one. It's like got magnets or something, so you flick it over your windows and it just goes click. It just looked awesome. I mean, it was freaking expensive though, but their whole set.
Anything Dreamcase is super expensive. It really is.
Yeah.
But hey, you're worth it.
I've spent enough money that and normally by now the delivery specialist has talked to us and all that sort of stuff, but Leonie just gets the bill to go pay us now, and I'm like, has anyone talked to you yet? She's like, no.
You mean for the car?
Yeah, like the final bill and everything. It was just like, oh, okay, it's a bit different this time around.
Well, so pro tip that the wording basically indicates that you owe them the money now. I mean, all they want to do is see that the money's in their bank a few days. I forget what it is. There is fine print that says how many days it has to be.
I think it's like two clear days before.
2 clear days. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
thanks,
don't feel like when you read that it means you literally owe them now, even though it sort of says so. It's just the way they've worded it.
Yeah, I've got the money, but it was just funny. I was just going, oh, okay. I'd like it, be wined and dined. This time it's just give me the money.
Yeah, that's right. Give me the money. Yep. Attend at when we tell you, and then leave as soon as possible, please. Yep. Yes. But hey, I mean, since you're already an experienced Tesla owner, I mean, that would be a great thing to be able to do is, in fact, just park the car in the car park, give me access to my app, or give me the little package of cards and whatever, or they might be in the car already. You just unlock your car with your app and then you just hop in and go.
Yeah.
Job done.
Maybe, Paul, make sure there's a decent state of charge.
Oh, it's all right. I got 60% when I got my car as well, so I'm not fussed. It could come with 10%. We'll still get home. It's all good.
I have a question about the money.
Yes, Joe.
when they ask for the money.
Oh, yeah, I've got a BSB. Like, hang on, I'll just put my BSB and that number in chat.
Harold, put your credit card details in the chat.
In your account.
I mean, it's got to get a credit.
Sorry, I was being rude. Go, Joe.
Yeah.
Go.
Right. So, because we're just doing a bit different this time, but when it's partly financed, does Macquarie pay the money to Tesla, and
yes,
or the bit that they're financing, and you pay the other bit?
Yes.
Is that how it works? Or does Macquarie give you the money? I don't know how it works.
No, I think they pay Tesla directly, but by all means, ask them. So you've told them that you only want them to finance a portion, and you'll put in a deposit effectively.
Yeah. Because last time we paid, they gave, Tesla gave the bank details, which was the reservation number, and we just transferred that money over.
Yep. Look, I'd go and ask Macquarie. To be honest, I don't know is the correct answer. I presume it would have been that you pay Tesla your deposit money, and then they pay the difference. Yeah. But it's plausible that perhaps maybe Macquarie wants your deposit, and they'll pay the Tesla the whole lot.
That's the thing.
You can do it. You can do it both ways, because when I got my car, I had put down a deposit, and then I thought, no, I'm going to finance the whole lot and then get Tesla shares instead. So that's what I actually did, and so they were fine to do that. So yeah, you can pay your bit, and they'll pay the rest. So you can modify.
One very important pro tip is Tesla do actually send you the invoice in an email, and they do have their bank details on that invoice. Now, it's almost always going to be correct, but there's a finite chance that your email account has been hacked and that someone has
the account code is your reservation number, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. But that's on the invoice as well. But what you can do to actually verify who you're paying to is you log into your Tesla account, go to manage your car, and then go to next steps or whatever it is in the delivery process. And you can actually, there's a link there that shows the payment details, and that will show Tesla's BSB account number and the reference number, which is your reservation number. But you can be deadly certain that whatever you've got on your email matches with what's on your Tesla account as far as making a payment.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Someone in Western. Sorry, I'll just finish this little point. Yeah, unfortunately, was a lady in Western Australia a year or so ago that lost her money and didn't get the car because her account was hacked. The hackers basically diverted all her emails to their server. They then read them, obviously saw, and it's a 1 in a million chance of getting a juicy invoice like that. They edited the PDF and the email. They then forwarded it to her. She dutifully paid that $70,000 or $80,000 to the bank account and lost everything. So, it just happened that Tesla was part of that interaction vicariously. Of course, it wasn't their fault, nor was it hers per se, but it just happened. So yeah,
you just send like $100 first, and it should show up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes, and you can do that too. But Tesla now they've actually upped it where there's a link on your My Tesla account page where you can show the payment details.
Yeah, and I did that, like that very thing. So I actually just flicked off $1,000, and then I just waited a couple of days to make sure that it all had worked out through your account, like managed through that, and it actually does work.
When I got the invoice, I emailed Harry and said, "Harry, is this legit?" Because as Harold was talking about, because of that deception that took place, I said, "Is this correct?" And he said, "Yes, it matches your reference number. This is all good. Okay to pay." I said, "Okay, I have now two steps verification."
But Steve, how did he reply? Did he reply back to your email via email?
No, it was by text.
Gotcha. There you go.
But where it's handy to transfer a small amount first is just to protect yourself against yourself as well, because you could just fat fingers or what have you, get the numbers wrong. And sometimes it can go into a valid account and it's impossible to get the money back. Essentially, the person on the other end has to agree to send you the money back. If you transfer a small amount first and then use the same details the second time around, that should have, and verify with Tesla that they've received that small amount first.
Paul, you were saying that actually occurs on your Tesla account. So will it show up as a balance on your account?
Yep. The balance will adjust. So I waited and I went, okay, it's 75,000 this day. I think it was between 1 or 2 days, and it went down to 74, and I was like, sweet, no worries. So yeah, and I think I spent like 5 minutes triple checking, quadruple checking every number and that sort of stuff, and yeah, it's all correct. And now I've just set it up as a pay now, so I don't have to check it so much. So yeah.
You should have just done one. You should have just done $1 if that's the case, because then who cares?
Yeah, you can. $1,000 against 75 doesn't really.
True.
It's funny you talk about it.
Send $1 first. Bugger the 1,000.
Yeah, I'm a risk taker.
That's it. I've just got to go and get my phone because I don't know where it is, and I'm getting a bit of FOMO, and I want to look at the share price. Actually, I can do that.
I can tell you. It was already over 900, eh?
Yeah, 901 before.
Joking.
No. Oh, yeah, you're doing it live. Cool. Okay.
901. Oh, really?
It looks like it's going to open at about 9:15.
Yeah. I know. 688 was my last pickup.
Nice
yeah,
one.
You called it 2 weeks ago. You got it at 688.
Yeah. And I was just like, and when I got Leonie's at 710, like her second lot, she was like, oh, there's $20 difference. I said, you won't care in a couple of weeks. And she doesn't. Yes. Hopefully we have the stock split. So I'll be happy man.
My son bought one share. He saved up $1,000 and bought a share. A couple of weeks ago at $700 as well.
Cool.
Yeah. So he'll probably have 3 shares pretty soon. We've got. We should mention we've got the AGM coming up tomorrow morning. So they'll have a vote on the stock split and a few other things. So
that'll be Friday morning.
Oh, so yeah.
Tomorrow morning. Oh,
yeah. Friday.
Sorry,
apologies. 4th their time. Yeah. Oh, trust me, I would have been so happy.
Yeah, Thursday their time. Yeah.
I'll have to be pretending to work, so while watching it on my phone.
Hey, because you guys can talk about Tesla shares forever. Can I jump in with a completely different topic?
Yeah, of course.
Go for it.
Most of you know we're doing the Perth to Sydney Marathon with Tokeva later in the year. One of the things we're toying with is changing the brakes, because obviously the car's a performance model, so it's got the performance brakes, and it runs the 18-inch standard rims because the tyres for tarmac rallying are cheaper and easier to get. So the performance discs and calipers. Calipers do work with an 18-inch rim with some minor, angle grinding. But for the Perth to Sydney, we're wondering if anyone has done the opposite upgrade and got a standard range and upgraded to performance discs and calipers. A, was it possible? And B, if they've still got them, do they want to sell them? Because we want to go the other way. Because for the Perth to Sydney Marathon, the brake performance is almost irrelevant.
Yep.
But because the discs and calipers are smaller diameter, there's more room between the rim and the caliper, so there's less chance of stones and stuff getting stuck.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the hub and everything is exactly the same between the two discs, that it's just a straight unbolt and bolt the other one's on.
You'd almost have to bet that would be the case. It's almost certain.
So if anyone knows anyone that's done gone a standard range, upgraded to performance, if they've still got the discs and they're willing to part with them, we'd be interested in acquiring them so we can do the opposite.
You could try just on our Facebook page.
Yeah, I think I don't think anyone's posted that on there, but they've posted on other social media things.
Forums. Yeah. It's interesting. I'd struggle to find. Well, I mean, whether someone would buy a long range and want to have the performance discs or calipers. Sorry, I mean, well, the whole lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, someone earlier was talking about putting the Uber turbines on a standard range.
Yeah, true.
But brake performance on the road is not really relevant.
Actually, I wish that gentleman was buying a Model Y, because I'd love to swap my Uber turbines with 20s or 19s, whatever it is. I'd love to do that, but anyway, it's the wrong flavour of car. But yeah, interesting question, Andrew. That's I mean, you'd think that someone must have done it somewhere, but
but it's just where. I mean, at the end of the day, we can purchase discs and a caliper setup and all that kind of stuff, but it's just a cost. I mean, you're talking
exactly.
All four of them.
Do you know what the cost is? Incidentally, have you priced it from Tesla?
No. Interestingly, I was chatting with John earlier. The charge port's got to get replaced because we had some issues on Sunday at the latest rally sprint. It's been used. Let's just put it that way, and it's a bit loose. So we're getting that replaced next week, and it's under $500 to replace the whole charge port, which is surprisingly cheap.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Because it's. I think it's because the door is separate, so it's just the inner part of the port. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because the original Fremont cars seem to be looser. Maybe it's just green thing, but plugging it into a more recent one, Richard Baird's got a Shanghai model, and it seems tighter.
Yes, it'll be this plastic, or well, not just this bit, but it's the CCS part as well.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get in the right light, but that part there.
Yeah. There is some wobble in the whole actual fitting. The whole thing moves.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean,
this one.
It's had a hard life in this 2.5 years.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I've got this one in my hand is because it literally snapped off when the charger cable was pulled out of my car by my wife's car catching up on under the mud flap or under the wheel arch, and it basically just pulled the cable out, and somehow it actually, even though it was being pulled, how do you describe it, backwards, it sort of still whipped it out because it had to go some way, and basically broke this out of the charge port. And now it's all just got pins just straight out.
Yeah,
it still works. But yeah, $500 is quite reasonable for that sort of complexity.
That's what I thought.
So have you had that changed yet, or you're going to?
That's next week.
Cool. Yeah, excellent. Then John won't have to worry about putting little shims on the plugs and stuff.
Yeah, then Polestars can work on the chargers.
Yes, but we won't mention that. It's all good. Oh man.
So yeah, if anyone hears of anyone that's done the caliper and rotor change, let us know.
Absolutely. I was trying to think maybe whether unplugged performance would be see that. Of course, they'd have larger.
They'd be bigger.
They go the other way.
Yeah, exactly. And John can't. I just wonder, what John may not want to do this. But you might be able to do a swapsy from the Model Y to the 3.
Maybe.
Possibly. So in other words, the rotors and the calipers. The calipers and the whatever you call it, the piston. Yeah, the calipers. They might be the same between 3 and Y. And because John's getting a standard Y.
Standard range, it'll have the smaller ones.
Yeah. And
although isn't the standard Y 19 inches?
Yeah, they're 19.
Yes. Yeah, but the calipers and discs are probably the same.
Yeah.
The great thing about the Y is you don't have this problem with the performance versions or non-performance versions all rims fit on all versions of Model Y, regardless, backwards and forwards. Well, probably because you've got 19s to start with. You've already got the inch gap or half inch, all around or either side. But yeah, maybe John could contemplate that, although that's a bit harsh because he's basically getting a brand new car and pulling off the bits. Yeah.
3-year-old brakes that have been through 3 years of racing.
Back. Yeah. But then he's just going down the highway. Sure. Well, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's something that would work. But yeah, whether he'd want to do that. Yeah. And he could always then just swap them back again at the end of the trip, or get Tesla to do it, or I don't know whether Tesla. Well, yeah. Anyway, but
it's an idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Good night, Alex. Thanks for coming, mate, and thanks for that video. That was pretty awesome and scary at the same time.
Good one.
Well, look, scared me a little bit. Anyway.
But you did a good job editing it. That looked good. Or did you use an app for doing that to get the pictures all together, or did you just do that yourself?
I just used I downloaded like a movie maker for Windows 10, and then basically just put everything together and edited it. But thank goodness I own a Tesla. That's all I can put it down to.
Yes, because you might not have. Well, imagine if you were just looking away just for a moment, or at all slightly distracted, you could have cleaned up that door or the guy, or Anyway, wow. Go dash cams.
Very smart car.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, and it's super impressive that you were on autopilot, because I've seen my car do things that are a bit silly on autopilot. Looking like it might hit a side car because it doesn't really notice, but yours clearly dodged, and that was awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic to see that in action. And
do put it on, submit it on Wham Bam Testacam.
All right, I'll submit it on there.
So you could do them. You can send them your video as you've made it, but also send them the raw clips, and they'll definitely put it on. It'll be entertaining, and do explain that you were on full autopilot, but not FSD, because they don't have FSD better.
Yeah. Lane keeping.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Cool. Awesome, Alex. Take care, mate.
Right. I'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah, look forward to it. Definitely. Take care, mate.
Right.
Cheers.
Night, everyone.
Night.
All right. Has anyone else got any questions or comments?
Harold, I was just going to mention, just to change topic a little bit, if you wanted to give a shout out to
yes. So
everyone else that watches us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got people like Damon, who sometimes he turns up, which, let me see, no, he hasn't turned up today, so perhaps he's working or something like that. And he's really generous because he watches us in half hour segments on YouTube, because that's all he can stand. Probably because that's when his narcolepsy sort of kicks in. And we got Joseph that I think normally Wednesday is a karaoke night for him, so he'll catch up with us. Actually, Joseph's a bit demanding because sometimes he'll contact me early in the morning going, "Oh, why isn't the video up yet?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm still working on it, Joseph." So we've got a few other people that sort of watch us vicariously, and I'd like to do a big shout out to Ashley. And what I'd like to say to you, Ashley, is that I wish you all the very best, and all our love to you and your family on your journey. And we'll leave it at that. But actually, I still remember, Ashley, when we were at the synagogue. It's not a nightclub, but that establishment in Fremantle, and we had a casual meetup there, and you were up on that upper deck, and that was an awesome time that we all had at that casual meetup, and I remember that very fondly. So all the very best to you, Ashley. Really wish you all the best. All right, so we got any other questions or comments? Richard, I know that you drove in your Model X. Well, you had a ride in your Model X the other day. That was after the event, I think it was.
Nicely put, mate. It will be mine.
Oh, so tell us, as long as you're comfortable saying so,
yeah.
How did your Powerwall go the other day? If you want to go there.
Yeah.
Wherever appropriate, but think about it first. We can always not talk about it.
No. Okay. No, it's fine. I'm sorry. I just got to collect my thoughts because I completely forgot about it. So, okay. So
once upon a time, there was a Powerwall.
Yeah, once upon a time when Richard gathers his thoughts. So we've moved to the midday saver now. I did it as soon as we possibly could. What that means is that I've told the Powerwall now that when the pricing is as it is, so i.e. when you get the super off peak between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. at 8 cents a kilowatt hour. So what it'll do is on days where there's not enough sun, or in fact, as we find in the middle of summer, when we're cranking the aircon, the Powerwall will never get full because we're cranking so much power that it never fills up. So basically, peak winter and peak summer, Powerwall never fills up. So I was thinking, okay, midday saver, great time, great opportunity then to set it like that, and then no matter what time of the year, when we go past 3 p.m., it'll always be 100%, which is exactly as it's been working. But what it does is that, so it draws off the grid at 2.5 kilowatt. Now, if you come home and your dear wife happens to be cooking using the electric oven, and she's got 2 of the hobs of the induction cooker on,
with boost,
and the Powerwall is drawing off the grid, and the washing machine is on, and the dishwasher is on, and you come home and you plug your car in at 7.5 kilowatt, all is fine until you then go and try and make a coffee.
Right. So it was the evil Cambrook coffee maker.
Delaney, glorious coffee maker, which is delicious. But so I think that was what kicked it finally over the edge. But it's weird though, because
So then what happened? So what actually happened? How did you know it was over the edge?
Okay. Oh man. So that was like 9:30. No, actually probably would have been about, I don't know, midday or whatever. And the boundary fuse blew, and the Powerwall was obviously had charge in it, so it was still good. Lights all flickered, and we went, what was that? Car stopped charging, which is good. And then it was like, called up Western Power, and I'm like, any other power faults in the area? No. Okay, just us then. And I went out there and I pulled the boundary fuse out from under the meter, tested it. Yeah, no continuity through that. So I'm like, that's definitely it. But it's weird though, because it goes from the meter to the fuse board, and the fuse board does have a 63 amp C-curve breaker in it, a clip cell. So it's a good quality one. So what I reckon is that the fuse that was in the boundary fuse wasn't an 80 amp fuse. I reckon it was a 60, or who knows what it was lower than that, because
it must have been lower, because if you had a 63 amp C-curve, the boundary fuse, even if it was a 63 amp boundary fuse, they're rated much more than a C-curve circuit breaker.
Yeah, deliberately, wow. Yeah. So now, what annoyingly happened as well, of course, was that we spoke to the call center. So the call center guy was like, okay, well, look, there's a few other jobs going on. If you don't hear anything in an hour or 2 hours, whatever it was, call us back. Anyway, so I did, spoke to someone else, and they said, yeah, no, it's all good. Said the same thing as the first one, like, don't worry, you can go out, no worries. The Western Power people will just come out and they'll change it. Of course, that isn't the case. So don't listen to them. Because when the Western Power guy got here, we were somewhere up in the northern suburbs. And we then had to turn around and come all the way back again And it wasn't the guy's fault, of course, because he's like, well, look, you know, we don't know what blew in the house. You have to be here so that when we turn the power back on, it doesn't cause a fire. So I'm like, yeah, look, it's not his drama. It's just annoying because the call center of Western Power said, yeah, no worries, go on your way. So yeah, so anyway, so that is just a little bit annoying, but and
you couldn't reassure the technician that you knew what it was, but anyway, it's just
no, I told him what I thought it was, but he was like, no, I'm liable, so all right, fair enough. Anyway, so came back, but what I didn't ask him what he found the original fuse to be, but I'm pretty sure he just changed the whole cassette that goes in there. So so at some point I'm going to pull that out and then see if I can prise it open and see what the fuse rating actually is in there, which I kind of wish I'd done on the original one now. But yeah, I reckon it was like a 60 amp breaker in there at most, because the Powerwall reckoned it got to 12.5 kilowatt before it blew. Now I don't think that that's actually tracked the complete data of everything that it was actually drawing, but I reckon it was a 60 amp in there, and it just repeatedly, using. Just got too much. But this has kind of become relevant because we're going to 2 Powerwalls. So one of the things I just want to make sure was, because if we're going to go have two Powerwalls, and I reckon with 2, we'll be able to go pretty much 24 hours a day or 18 hours a day, and not draw any power off the grid, as opposed to, so we'll just be able to charge the car or cars in future from during that midday saver during the day, and then go the rest of the whole time on the Powerwalls. But my hesitation with the supplier was, well, if that's going to be drawing an additional 2.5 kilowatt off the grid as well, and we're already close to the margins, are we getting to the point where just charging the Powerwalls in the car is pretty much our entire allocation, or our entire amount of juice we can pull?
Well, the thing is, the Gateway has CTs, so the Gateway connects directly to the grid or to your meter. That's effectively the grid. But then you've got 2 AC outlets. You've got the outlet that the Powerwall supplies, and then the outlet that the grid supplies, so that when the grid gets disconnected, there's essential loads and non-essential loads. So your car charges would have been on the non-essential. So
here's the weird, right. So the car charger is actually a SolarEdge inverter charger. So it's actually, I'll see it, Paul. So the power actually directly comes off the panels through the inverter and straight into the car. So here's the thing. So I reckon if it had actually been a sunny day, it wouldn't have blown the boundary fuse, because it kind of, the power that goes into the car is made up from the solar and whatever it draws off the grid.
But is this the SolarEdge one where they do the calculations, it's only doing solar, or is it out at 32 amps single phase?
I've got it as, because we're on the midday saver now, I just say charge at 32 amp single phase. Just charge the car, because if we export, we get 7 cents a kilowatt hour. If we buy it in, you get 8 cents a kilowatt hour. It's like,
and that's on the Powerwall side of the house. That's on the production side. It tests as a producer, but it becomes a load when it's actually charging a car.
So it's actually hanging off a breaker in the gateway.
So I guess the question, okay, so what you can do is you should be, if you get a, doesn't your Powerwall, your Tesla app, tell you what the house is drawing?
Yes.
So what you should
do... It does.
From the grid?
From the grid is when it's the most reliable, is the only figure that's really reliable.
Yes, So here's what you do. You wait for a shitty rainy day. So tomorrow's a good, whenever you're free, and it's crappy, or even do it at night time, actually. Put your car charger on, flat stick, as you normally would. Put your induction on, put a few loads on, Tell your Powerwall that you're got to do it in the daytime. Pick a crappy, not sunny day between 9 and whatever. Put as many loads on and look at your app to see what your house is drawing. Because what it might have been is it might not have been the Powerwall charging up at all. Even if the Powerwalls weren't there, you might have blown the circuit anyway. Because put it this way, if you're charging car at 32 amps, there's half your allocation gone.
Yeah.
Because you got 63 amps. 32 is half of it. The induction, depending on its mode, if you're boiling water and you put boost on, they can go, depending on what induction model you've got, it can go up to 11 kilowatts. So
but it's single phase though. So
that's single phase.
Yeah.
So in fact, that could go up to 40 amps, or maybe even if you've got.
I think it's only on a 32 amp breaker.
Okay, then it's a 7 kilowatt what's the name? But the point is, you've only got 15 kilowatts of total input.
Yeah.
So just your induction and your car could have gobbled up all of it.
Yes, exactly.
And it wasn't your Powerwall, because your Powerwall may have throttled back to not be charging itself up because it's 63 amps coming in, and it might have gone, there's too much coming in, I'm going to have to shut my charging. And in fact, perhaps the Powerwall even tried to bolster it. I don't know how the Powerwall works in that situation, but it might have been purely, like if you just ignore your Powerwall, your issue is your car charger and your induction and your oven.
And the oven.
Because they're uncontrolled loads.
Yeah.
So, because your Solar Edge, it doesn't know what the grid's doing. So
here's a question that may be for you and Pete. Can you have, because I've asked my installer to say, well, look, can I go 3-phase? And obviously that opens up a whole can of worms with the cost of getting 3-phase in and the drama of this particular house. But in theory, could you have a 5 kilowatt solar inverter on one phase and then a Powerwall on each of the remaining phases?
Probably.
Because would you then
because Western Power are difficult?
Because would Western Power then allow the full inverter capacity of 5 kilowatt to be enabled on each of the Powerwalls?
No.
Okay.
That's the short answer to that.
That's what he said as well. He said they'll restrict you to 3 kilowatt each.
Yeah, it'll still be restricted. And even if you had, I was going to say, even if you had 3 Powerwalls, one on each phase, and if you went to 3-phase and had one on each phase, it'd still be restricted to 3 kilowatts.
Yeah. That's all right. Like, he's basically talked me out of going 3-phase and just staying with single phase, which is fine. I'm only, I mean, I think, look, I think 2 Powerwalls will get us through, or pretty much the whole year.
Don't forget, Richard, when you go to the second Powerwall, you'll lose your 7.135 cent.
I don't think that's actually. Yeah, it then goes to the 10 cents after 3 p.m. I actually reckon that might work out better. And the reason I say that is because I think we probably need about 20 kilowatt hours of storage. I would say that, what's the 27 that it would be with the 2 Powerwalls would probably be a little bit much. And I wonder whether the Powerwalls might end up with the learning algorithm getting smart enough to know that after 3 p.m, if they export, that we're getting 10 cents a kilowatt hour. So I wonder if actually they might go, do you know what? We're probably not going to need all this power. Maybe, chuck a kilowatt out, kilowatt or 2 out here and there. Yeah. And even if it doesn't, then it's
that's exactly what the tariff or the new buyback rate
exactly. And I'm doing this as well on the midday saver to help the Swiss grid. You're
doing everything that Western Power wants you to do.
Yeah, the more that I can suck off the grid during that time, the less that we have to do this arbitrage nonsense. So, you know, the more of us that do it, the better, I think. So, but also I was thinking, even on like the really sunny days, it will probably take most of the day to power the loads in the house and charge the Powerwalls as well. So by the time that they're actually full is kind of when, probably after 3 o'clock anyway, when there's going to be that excess power going to the grid. So I think it will be, you know, probably at worst breaking even, I reckon, and that's fine. So I know that I could go like, you know, 10 kilowatt single phase inverter or 8.2 kilowatt single phase inverter, and you know, and that would be great. But I just absolutely resent not getting paid anything to export power to the grid, particularly after 3 p.m. I could understand if it was before then, but I'm like, I'm damned if I'm going to be giving it away for free. It's like madness.
And you can't even give it away to charity. That's the frustration. No. Synergy literally gets it for nothing.
Yeah, and Synergy is the government, so you're, you know, basically volunteering to pay extra tax, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, if there was a statue erected,
the biggest touch. You pay
what was that piece?
$100, or is $100 to supply? $50, I think, the supply charge every bill. That's a real touch, I reckon, because we've had to pay for our wires coming in. We had to pay the underground power out in the street, and they still charge the supply charge. It's immoral.
Well, and it's actually more on the midday saver. I think it's $1.20 a day.
Only a few years ago, it was 20, 30 cents or whatever it was.
Yeah.
40 cents. So yeah,
Julia fixed that up. But
that's going to keep increasing.
How do you get your option on your account? It doesn't show up on my Synergy app, or is it Western Power you got to go to?
No, it's what you mean that tariff, Peter?
Yeah.
No. You just Google midday saver. So
just put in midday saver. Just put in Synergy.
I'm logged into the Synergy app, but it doesn't show up on mine.
No, you can't do it from your account. I think you have to go to their website and then
you have to call them as well.
Okay, I'll do that later.
Unless they've changed it now. Like I had to call them like 3 or 4 times because you know they said, "Oh, if you want to change over, call us." And you call them, and they're like, "Oh no, we're not ready." It's like, well, why'd you put it up there? It was like 2 weeks after you first mentioned it, or like that it first came in.
Yes.
And, you managed to get on.
It came in on the 1st of July, I think.
Well, it didn't because you couldn't move on.
It was supposed to come in on the 1st.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Cool.
Well, they want a pay rise for that too.
But Richard, I think with your new boundary fuse, which is probably correctly sized, and given that you've got a C-curve 63 amp, there can be no question that circuit breaker would pop well before the boundary fuse ever could.
It should have done. I mean, it's literally the boundary fuse, the meter, and the 63 amp breaker, and then to the gateway. So 100% we weren't doing anything wrong.
So presumably that boundary fuse was undersized or something. And I mean, that can happen, you know. Maybe they had the wrong size and they just stuck it in because, you know, want to finish the job. In fact, that's what happened to Ravensthorpe. The boundary fuse was smaller than the main switch rating.
Yep.
So when the electrician said, "Yeah, you're good for X amps," well, it wasn't because the boundary fuse was smaller.
He didn't check it. Yeah, right.
Well, no, because it's up in the air. It was on.
It was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So didn't check it because you can't. It's just too hard.
Is that been changed?
It's not his job. I believe it has been changed, but the power level. Oh, I haven't looked on. No. Oh, that's a lot of machinations. The person who runs the BP, who is actually leasing that bit of land off someone else, they just haven't gotten round to filling out the paperwork, unfortunately, in time. So that application then lapsed to do the upgrade.
But the upgrade was paid for anyway, wasn't it?
No, this is.
I thought it was paid for.
Well, I think either, well, it's the money is available to pay for it, but Western Power won't do it until the application's been signed by the landholder, and the landholder is difficult to get a hold of, or isn't particularly motivated to bother to sign a piece of paper. So that application lapsed. So then it's got to be a new application made and a signature gotten from the person that owns the land that charge is sitting on. And it's apparently a bit difficult to get that to happen anytime soon. So we're sort of at this Mexican standoff, which I guess the point is, if you wait another year, Synergy will move in and put whatever it is, a 150 kilowatt charger or whatever in its place anyway, and then we won't care about it. And that charger can be moved to somewhere else that's not got a charger, unfortunately. So I guess that's what happens when you deal with human beings.
Exactly. It's always hard to put it all together, isn't it? Never that simple.
Yeah, that's right. You can have all the technology you like, but if you need a ballpoint pen and a squiggle on a piece of paper, it can be difficult.
Yeah. Because I'm down there again soon too. It's just always handy to know what's what.
Yeah, I did actually open it up, Ravensthorpe, and it says, I'm sure I would have heard about it being upgraded. And I think it says 21 kilowatts. Yeah. It's still 21 kilowatts, which,
it's better than nothing. It's still a good.
Yeah, I mean, for your car, Pete, it does about 100 k's an hour, which is not terrible. And a Model 3 or a Model Y will do about 150 k's an hour. Which is pretty good.
It's essential for that's DC, of course. So that's essential for 3s and Ys, eh?
Yes.
That's where for people like me, we've got 22 kilowatt AC in our Teslas, which is a rarity. That's been amazing for rural travel, but I feel for 3 and Ys until the DC charging network comes in.
Yeah, so a 3 can do about 83 k's an hour on 11 kilowatts because they're more efficient. The Y is probably a little bit less. But getting the 22 kilowatts at 150 k's an hour is awesome. Actually, at 150 k's an hour, it means that they don't need to slow down on their journey. They can just bash out the speed limit, and it won't matter what their consumption is because they can replenish it faster than they can use it.
That's right. Good.
Whereas,
on your X, when I pull go to the charge screen, if I've just stopped or something, it'll bring up a blank screen, and I've got to clear that blank screen every time. Does yours do the same?
It's done it for years, Pete.
Mine's only just started the last couple of months. Before that,
mine's done it for years. And in fact, there's a video that Richard Hammond did in the UK.
Yeah.
In 2020, I think it was. I think it was when they first had the COVID,
start
of the COVID restrictions. It was in an X.
Yeah.
And he borrowed it or took it for a drive with his wife. And God bless him, but he presses the charge button and this blank screen comes up and he sort of self-deprecatingly sort of says, I've done something wrong. It was my mistake. And he tapped it again or twice or whatever, and then it came back. Well, then it appeared properly. But as soon as I watched that video, I thought, oh, geez, Tesla,
here we go again.
And the thing is, my car used to have the old MCU1 computer, and it got upgraded to MCU2, and that problem is still the same. They, at random, when you press even the menu button, like the car menu, it just brings up a blank white screen. And if
mine never used to do it.
Oh, well, you've now got this new sickness, Pete. So, welcome to the family. I've enjoyed that for a couple of years now.
My S has been flawless with the MCU2 upgrade. I think it's just pot luck.
It might be, yeah. That's why my relationship with my ex it's a bit like any ex, really.
Boom, boom.
Every now and then you hop in, you go, oh, this is all right, and then you get reminded of the problems, the issues.
I'll have it, Harold. Warts and all. You just tell me when. Just tell me how much and when.
Oh dear. Yes, well, according to Tesla, according to the app, or not the app, my Tesla account, my car's still due on this. I think they're between the 16th and the 30th of August, but I'm a little bit.
Oh, the standard range, yeah.
The standard range, yeah. I guess you could call that my in-betweeny car.
Yeah. So is that the ship that's in Port? Is it Port Kembla that's in?
Yeah.
So that's coming to Perth with.
No, it's being transferred to another ship.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I've got to be super careful because I've subscribed to Vita Prime's Discord thing, and of course his rules, and they're there for a very good reason, is not to disclose anything that you learn about on his group.
Yeah,
so I've got to be super careful. But I think it's open knowledge that in fact, I mean, that image that I got was from someone in the Eastern Seaboard that took that photo. So. And it wasn't Vita Prime, and I got permission from the person that took the photo to post it, which was cars being stored at Port Kembla. But what happens is, or what has been happening is that basically the cars go to the Eastern Seaboard, and for whatever reason, the Perth cars go to Melbourne and then change ship to catch a local ship, I guess you could say, sort of. That goes between Melbourne and Perth.
Right. Okay. So they've got a particular ship that does the bite.
No, there's multiple ships. There's several ships that do this, and now it's just a matter of how long it's going to take that ship to get to, basically to Perth, effectively.
Cool.
But like I said, I don't want to sort of.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah. But we just don't know. No one actually knows what ship any Model Ys are on coming to Perth.
Yeah,
there's a couple of candidates, and it would have normally have been thought of as being the second ship, but it might be the first ship, or there might be some on the first ship and some on the second, but don't know. But suffice to say, I'll flick the drone up on the correct side of the railway tracks and have a very good look.
Yeah, because I commute to work on the train now, so I see that that area every day.
Yes, well, and that's the thing is, regardless of whether they're berthed on the south side or the north side, on the train track as it bends round on the bridge, you get perfect view.
Oh, always sit the other side to get that view. Yeah, every day if I can. So, yeah, I'm always keeping an eye out.
Hey, let us know, Richard. Put it up as soon as you see it.
If I see it,
let Harold know so he can get the drone up.
Yeah. No, absolutely, of course.
Pete, I'll be looking out on the shipping schedules. So as soon as the ship arrives, mate, I'm going to be there.
You'll be there waving like a sailor's wife that hasn't seen him for 2 years.
I've picked out, if it's the south side, you just go to Officeworks, and that's a perfect spot to take the photo.
Yeah, no, that is, yeah.
But on the north side, there's some hotel just past the bridge, and there's a car park there, and that's again perfect spot to pop the drone up. So, I'll definitely be keeping a close eye on it.
Just can't believe how soon they're getting here. Like that's unreal. Like it feels like 5 minutes ago. That all was open.
And if it wasn't for Shanghai, it would have been sooner still. So, but I mean, how many of us? I was at the beginning of the year. I was super pessimistic. Wondering whether it was going to be this year at all, and more likely next year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We all were.
So, but then, of course, there's those of us who have got performance cars. So my wife's obviously looking forward to a performance car, as am I. And I mean, there's no sign of those yet, so we just don't know when they're going to be. They're going to start building them.
Which they'll have to bring a lot in soon because there's 10,000 got to come in at least, hasn't there? So they'll have to be pretty busy with shipping wise from here on in.
Well, if Robin Denholm is to be believed, and you've got to take her at face value, she wouldn't have flippantly said something unless she sort of had an idea that it was going to be pretty much on the money. That's 26,000 cars. And if WA is 10% of the population, which it is, that's 2,500, cars coming between now and December.
Yeah.
So, if that's, say, 1,000 cars this quarter and another 1,500 next quarter, I mean, that's massive.
Well, that combined with the charging restrictions they're sort of putting on at Karrinyup might encourage them to put a few more in.
Yes.
Which would be
Well,
a great thing.
they've got the Perth, what they call the Perth supercharger in central Perth. So that's coming. We know about the Lancelin one because that's in council documents. And we know about the Albany one because that's again in council documents. And there's a few others. There's a couple of others as well. And I think it was Pete that mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, there were Tesla supercharger scouts, at the service centre. So they're working on it.
Good.
And of course, Synergy's working on their thing, which by the end of the next year, it'll be awesome. See you, Steve. Steve.
Yeah, as I said, I'll be joining intermittently over the next couple of months.
Where are you off to?
Brisbane.
Oh, good.
Are you driving across, Steve?
Of course. Would I do anything else?
When are you going, roughly?
When am I going exactly? Monday morning.
Oh, super soon. Oh, cool. Okay, no worries. Yeah.
Wow. You'll have a fabulous trip. It's a great drive across there. Which way are you going when you get to Port Augusta?
I'll be going down to Berry.
Great. Up to Berry. Cross to Berry. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. To Port Augusta, down to Berry. I'll stay there for a couple of nights, take advantage of the NRMA DC charger there. Yay.
Yeah, well, if you go through Gundagai, well, you won't go through Goulburn, but you probably won't even go through Gundagai.
I've been through Gundagai before, but I understand what you're saying. No, I'll be going up through possibly Dubbo on the range and around Parks and up the centre to Brisbane. And then on the way back, I'll go via, so as I'm looking at the screen trying to talk, we'll go through Mildura, then it's Leeton, Dubbo, Narrabri, and we'll head across and go up through Parks, maybe Tamworth, Armidale.
Yeah, take your coat with her.
Oh, absolutely. Because we're going to Fiji for a week and a half, so we've got to take 2 sets of clothing.
Well, we're generally up there by now, but this year, it's the only year we've been home in winter for the last 13 years. It's a bit tough staying there.
Oh, it's a shocker.
Yeah. So, you'll love that trip. It's a fabulous drive. Really good.
Yeah, well, last year I did it 2 weeks after picking up my Model 3. So this time I've got a whole year and a bit of experience.
Well, hopefully next year we'll take our car across as well.
Yep.
I would have liked it done this year, but it hasn't worked out, but it's great.
Yeah, my plan is probably not to go east next year, but the following year or very soon thereafter with the Cyber truck, rubbing his hands.
It's not going to happen, Steve. It'll be 2 more years after that, but go on.
I mean, you got a dream. Come on. As Harold was saying a couple of minutes ago, the Model Y got here a little more quickly than you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, but X has got, I mean, they come from Fremont now, don't they? And that's the only supply chain for the X.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. And Steve's getting the Cybertruck. And but Cybertruck's not starting in left-hand drive until the middle of next year. So 12 months' time. And there'll probably be a good 2 years at least.
I reckon. Yeah.
At least.
Because they're going to supply America, Asia, or not Asia, Europe before us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that was something. Oh, sorry, go on, Steve.
Yeah, I read that they're getting another of those giga presses as well. Going to a Swedish one or something from the Italian one. So yeah, there's going to be more pressing taking place.
Yeah, and the initial report was that Swiss company was going to replace IDRA, and that's just not true. I think Tesla's doing what they should do, which is having a dual supply. So you've got redundancy and a little bit of commercial tension, which is always helps.
Yes. Yep. A duopoly is gives you slightly more flexibility than a monopoly, but yes.
And isn't it funny, because Elon Musk did say he went to the top 6 die casting manufacturers, and all five of them said no, and one said maybe, and he went, "Yeah, I'll take that as a yes."
Right, make it
obviously. But no doubt that this Swiss company, whose name escapes me, obviously thought no.
Beulah, was it?
Yeah,
Beulah?
something like that. Yeah, and probably thought more differently about their mistake of saying no.
Here's an opportunity we've missed. Let's make sure that we get on the next time around.
Exactly.
Probably good for both parties, I reckon. And competition is always good, and it might bring us some innovation in design as well. You know,
how much press coverage has IDRA got as a result of working with Tesla?
Yes.
Exactly. Oh yeah. It's Beulah. Thanks, George. That's in text, and I'm not sure if I've probably missaid that. Oh no, that's about Beulah.
Beulah.
Yeah.
It's a U with 2 dots above it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
anyway, I'll just say good night, and
awesome.
I'll try to
go to bed. Yep.
I'll try to hook in when I can over the next couple of months.
Yeah, take a picture of the road, of the town sign, so you can put them in your background.
Yeah, that and the chargers. As long as the DC chargers, that's what I care about.
NRMA's got a fair few.
Oh, they do. I loved that. Narrandera and other places, you go to those, and there was no wait.
And the what's the name works. There's an MG by the look of it. I think
at Kaiguna
on the 28th of July.
Sweet.
So that is definitely working. Yes, from Clink PC. So it's all good.
Yep. No, I factored for Kaiguna a midday charge.
Yes, very good. Yep. So you're going to overnight at Norseman, I presume, or
yes,
working? Oh, fantastic! Because then you'll be able to blast it all the way to Border Village on a short day. Like it'll be easy.
Yeah, I think we're going to stop at Cockapiti just because we can. We're in no rush, and that'll be an overnight.
Oh, cool! Fantastic.
Yep.
No worries. Excellent. All right, we'll have an awesome trip. Safe travels, and please do join us if it's convenient, and let us know how you're going.
Got to remember the time difference, though.
I know it's 2 hours.
It gets harder.
It's a bit of a killer, but just join us just super early, and in fact, what we'll do is as soon as the news and introductions are done, we'll let you do your little spiel of how your trip was, and then you can go to bed.
Yeah, and hopefully no gotchas.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah, so I upgraded to 20.7 today, which is good. I don't want to upgrade too much when I'm on the road.
Oh, it's a sense of adventure there, Steve. You never know where you're quite going to get.
Oh, I always do it as soon as I get into my bed.
So do I.
Carragini, boom.
Sorry, Richard, show us your motorbike again.
On the live wire? Oh, God.
All right, now it is time for Steve to go to bed. Go to bed, Steve.
Good night.
Good night. See you,
mate. Do you know, in all honesty, I've no idea. I take it to the service centre, I guess. Maybe there's a way of downloading it to a USB stick and put it, but I'm like, I can't be asked.
Oh no, I did it at Kaiguna.
No, the live wire.
He's talking about the
Oh, sorry. Oh,
yeah. Like I'm just like I have no idea. God knows, and I can't be asked to figure it out either. No, yeah. So you did it in Kaiguna.
Oh yeah, I just said, oh bugger it. I'll just the software's there. It can just install it. What's the worst that can happen? It gets loaded up on a flatbed truck at my expense at $1 a kilometre for 1,100 kilometres or whatever it is. You know,
she'll be right.
She'll be right. Exactly.
Got to be a bit slow through there, though, wouldn't it? It's only 3G there.
Yeah, it was pretty slow downloading. Yeah, it was. Yeah, next time I go to Kaiguna, I'll be a lot quicker with the Starlink, of course, a couple hundred megabits, which actually the Starlink coverage is improving I wouldn't say
yeah,
weekly.
Actually, I had a look the other day. It seems to be going more of an almost 45-degree angle on the east coast now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So actually, Harold, I did have a question. Do you have any? Obviously, through the club, we have kind of higher level access to Tesla, but is there anything like that for Starlink?
I only wish. Oh, look, actually, no, I tell a lie. I mean, we don't just have, important viewers like, Damon and Ashley and Joseph and others. We know Elon watches, and I think Elon has a little bit to do with SpaceX and Starlink. So, and since look, Elon and me are, we're just besties. Like, we're absolute besties.
Well, you talk to each other on Twitter, so
yeah, absolutely. We've got a bit of a bromance. Well, it's more on his side. I think he likes me more than I like him, but it's okay. But no, the short answer is no. We have zero input from Starlink. And I keep thinking...
I just want to ask them if they're going to put in a ground station at Port Hedland.
Well, surely, you know what? All you mining companies need to do is get together and go, hey, Starlink, do you realise how many bulk orders, how many pallets of terminals?
I want to try them and prove that they work. So...
Well, the coverage map is getting better, so there's obviously a secret mine here that they don't want coverage.
I literally looked like yesterday or the day before, and that's changed since then.
Yeah,
it was south of Shark Bay when I looked.
Yes, no, now it's basically deep into it's almost touching Monkey Mia, and don't forget this is guaranteed coverage, so you'll get it in Monkey Mia absolutely easy peasy on your what do you call it? Not RAV. What's it called? Recreational RV service. So, and don't forget, this is their guaranteed service, and this is not guaranteed, but they use their best effort.
Why would it have those like that great big open area there where they're not giving any?
This one here.
Any coverage? Yeah, or
I have zero. That is really, really strange. I just don't. That must be a glitch of some sort. That's just very strange.
Looks like they're blocking it out for some specific reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that? Is that in the Murchison? Is that where the square kilometre array is? Perhaps.
Oh, it could be.
Oh.
Is that not near there? I think.
I think it's in that general area.
So they might be deliberately trying to suppress signals down to there in deference to the fact that that's where the SKA is.
I thought SKA was much more widespread than that. I'm probably wrong.
Oh, I don't. No, we're talking We're talking 150 k's roughly at a rough guess. So that's a fairly big area.
Yeah, right.
That might actually be.
I reckon that's it. Yeah, sure.
I reckon that might be it. Because look at this. Up here it says starting Q1 2023.
Oh, yeah.
Here it's available now. Here it says nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, there's got to be some specific reason for that.
I bet you that's the Murchison SKA region.
Pretty cool.
that's been left vacant. And because the satellites can do beamforming and all that sort of stuff, they can literally leave that zone alone. That's just awesome. That's what it is.
Harold, I think you're pretty much spot on. I just looked up the Murchison, observatory location on maps, and pretty much in exactly. Can you just put the map up again? Yeah, it's pretty much in exactly the same spot.
Awesome. There you go. Go Starlink. Right. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, have we still got the over-the-horizon radar?
Jindalee. Yep.
Over there? Because
yes.
I wonder how that'll go with the satellite signals, because it doesn't take much to blow some of those signals out of the water. Particularly, that's quite a weak signal when it cuts back.
I think it might be different frequencies, Pete. I think it's totally different frequencies.
Oh, sure it would be.
They'd be long wave for the Jindalee program. Oh, that's it, definitely.
That's it for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it for sure. Yep. Nailed it. That's what it is. Yeah, cool. So just as well we don't work for the CSIRO at the SKA, we can't get our Starlink. That's appalling. Now that's going to make me want to drive there just to check.
Yes. I wonder how many other spots around the world.
Well, I guess we can cruise around. There's nothing in New Zealand. South Africa hasn't got coverage yet, but that's only because of regulatory, stuff. That's just a valid. Well, that's weird because this one that color's waitlist, but it doesn't show a date.
That's excluded again. They've got to be.
Well, I'm not sure. That's a fairly big region. Cologne near there. I don't know what. I mean, they might be small glitches, or maybe it's got something to do with interference. I do like how all the coverage hugs the coastline, so that then all the ships have to pay through the nose. And then, of course, see anything Norway and Sweden and Finland, because they're so far north, they're above the satellites, so they're waiting for the laser links to come in. Same as Greenland, and looks like no one's paying for it in Antarctica yet. But yeah, so but Australia's getting better and better. And look, Richard, yeah, I reckon you should have when you have beers with Rio and all the others, you should go, hey, well, because it'd be nothing to the size of these tracking stations is nothing. It's 200 square meters of land, if that. It's nothing to have the 9 radomes with the dishes inside for a ground station. It's trivial, and all it needs to be is near a Vocus fiber optic cable. And again, they're everywhere.
Vocus or Telstra.
Well, Vocus has got more than Telstra, I think, in terms, particularly up there through there.
The ones I've looked at, all of the transmission, all of the cable says Vocus, but I mean that might just be a coincidence. And
there's a few things I don't want to.
No. So it would be nothing. It would be super simple for SpaceX to put a ground station in the Pilbara. And once they did that, they would open up the entire Pilbara and a fair part of the Kimberley.
It's more for the latency than anything else.
Well, the latency, unfortunately, is we're stuck at 70 odd milliseconds, but that's because our point of presence is in Sydney.
Yes.
So, which means.
But I mean, if you were sending something from Newman to Port Hedland, and you were going via satellite, and you had a ground station in Port Hedland, then your latency, assuming it was routing via there,
is short.
Would be a lot shorter. So
that's something that might change with the new laser links, or I guess what we don't know is I'd have to set that up, but try the experiment of pinging. Like you've got Starlink, haven't you, Richard, at your place?
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, and I've got Starlink here. I'd have to try and ping. Problem is they use this GNAT, which means we don't get a direct link between. Yeah. There's no addressable. There's no IP number.
Yeah.
So I can't actually drill straight to your place. But you'd have to set up like a VPN or I don't know something. Yeah. Well, even then, that's hard to see whether you could do it so that if you're in Perth and you go up to the satellite back to another dish in Perth, whether it will just go satellite and back, or does it have to go to the point of presence?
I think it's going to go out via Sydney. That's what it all
probably
seems to be.
Which means it's got to cross the Nullarbor twice.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
It is kind of silly though. Like I don't quite understand why, because they're clearly communicating directly with that ground station. So I don't quite understand why the routing's set like that. I'm not sure what What benefit?
It's probably a software thing. I'd say eventually it would be intelligent enough to reroute the traffic directly where it belongs. So you'll probably find that'll just be one software switch away from being awesome. I'll just get this.
Did the early satellites, they didn't have the laser link? They weren't capable, the first ones, were they? It was only an iteration last.
It's a version 1. I want to say 1.5. There are about, I think there's about 1,500. There's actually a surprising number of the newer versions that have the laser links, but they haven't been turned on yet. They've used them experimentally, but for a couple of satellites, but they haven't been turned on because the FCC, the American whatever licensing thing, hasn't licensed them for it yet. But which is why I think on their map they say coming in Q1 next year, you'll have coverage everywhere, because once these laser links are on, you're not dependent on ground stations, on local ground stations. You can just do a hop wherever it wants. I'll just get this SpaceX map. Oh, here we go. So you can actually see where the points of presence are, and they're so we've got 2 in Sydney. But then if you go to, unfortunately, it's very data hungry, this thing, or processor hungry. In America, they've got tons. So they're the purple triangles. And bearing in mind that the US is a similar size as Australia, and Europe even has a few, and they're much smaller. So eventually, Australia hopefully will get a point of presence in Perth. And yeah, you're right, Richard, they'll maybe get one in the Pilbara. And I mean, I don't even know how complicated that thing would be. It's probably not that arduous. And SpaceX just need to do it. But yeah,
if they can put 4 down south, like almost like that, then surely they could get it there.
Yeah, exactly. And you can sort of see here, depending on how the satellite's configured, you can still get signal, but obviously it's not guaranteed. But they do their best effort. But there are no ground stations planned or approved in the Pilbara yet. And I keep looking at ACMA's website for approvals, and they're just not there. But we don't know if SpaceX has applied. You don't see applications; you only see approvals. But yeah, it's a no-brainer. And I mean, for all the mining guys, all the pastoral people, even as a backup, it's just awesome. And who knows? They might have a premium package, a bit like the marine one, where you might have 2 dishes and they phase array. Well, they have fallback or whatever, and they can probably guarantee. They probably might use different satellites deliberately, so there's redundancy.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Okay. So they could probably offer very good levels of service. But anyway, we'll see, I guess.
Yes, I want to have a conversation with them about availability. Not like literally, not how many 9s.
No.
But the mining companies must have good clout, because there's a number of them up there, and they'd be a good business. The business case for Tesla or SpaceX would be good.
Well, it's sort of like easy money, because it's just additional subscriptions, and of course the mining companies would think nothing about buying the business version of it, because it's not a cost. It's not about cost. It's about availability. And I was even thinking about a similar thing for like Horizon Power's fast DC chargers that are in Pardue, Sandfire, the Mueller Ranges, blah de blah. The issue is communications, and if you haven't got GSM network or whatever, or 3G is a bit crappy, just stick a Starlink terminal, and for $100 a month, or $30 a month, you've got rolled gold service.
And that's nothing in the scheme of things.
Exactly. You know.
Well, that's the same thing happened when GPS first came out. We were paying $100,000 for receivers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got one in your watch. And the first exercise we did was midnight to dawn, because it was set up for the US, so we got the reverse side.
Yeah, of course.
And that it was worth paying $100,000 for the receivers because it saved you days and weeks in some jobs.
And Pete, how long you'd have to wait? Minutes and like dozens of minutes for this thing to calibrate and sit there and get the.
Oh, we would sit minimum of an hour.
Yeah,
and the travel between stations was like lightning. You broke every speed record on the road, but you did that to get as maximum out of it. So it was unbelievable.
Yeah, and yet now you can be on an aeroplane with one of these poking near the window.
Although this won't give you that accuracy. We use different methods, but even so,
yes.
The comparison is unbelievable.
Well, since President Clinton turned off the encryption or the randomness of the civilian signal, because I mean they worked out that people were using various algorithms to try and filter out most of the noise anyway, and using differential GPS and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly,
it's kind of pointless.
Yes, no, the software development was quite rapid over that period as well. They refined it and refined it. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. Which then gets to what we all want is this thing, but without a piece of fruit on the back of the thing. We want like a Tesla symbol.
Yes. Do you reckon that'll come out soon?
No.
There's a lot of noise around, but you don't see any hard facts on it. It's all speculation, I think, at this stage.
And I think the problem is it would always be a dual system. It would never be Starlink alone, because we know it can't work in an underground car park. It can't work inside under a tin roof, because it's just like GPS can't work like that.
Well, GPS gets through like it's inside here would be no issue, but it does have restrictions for sure. But GPS is a very powerful signal.
Yes. And actually, that's further away.
Yes,
GPS is a couple of thousand Ks away, if not.
Can't remember that right now. It was quite high.
Yeah, but it could certainly come as a phone that has Starlink and GSM. So if you're in the city, it just uses GSM, and then when you're in the middle of nowhere, it uses Starlink.
Well, it's like a satellite phone in a miniature package, isn't it?
Well, you can actually get them. I know you can get.
Iridium was
Iridium. You get like an Iridium back shell for your phone, and you could just plug your smartphone in, and then it would give you Iridium basically.
It automatically switched. If you had GSM, it would just go straight to that.
Yeah, because it's cheaper. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I mean, Starlink's just awesome, and the fact that it's got the whole world covered.
Oh, it's amazing.
So fast as well. It's like blink of an eye.
Yeah, and SpaceX basically have launched. They currently own half the world's operational satellites in orbit.
It's like it's so fast that the media can't even tell people quick enough.
That's right.
Very little concept.
And they're only starting. It's going to get to 40,000 satellites.
Well, once Starship really gets cracking.
Well, hopefully not too cracking, just more flying and not cracking. But yeah,
cranking. But yeah. But yes, yeah, we don't want that. But it's inevitable.
Well, Elon Musk is just says, well, why can't we do it? What's the laws of physics? And show me the equation that says we can't do this.
But look at the refinement they've put into the new cars. Well, even the further refinement of the S and X, that's unbelievable. But the new Y, I reckon, is incredible. They keep refining. No other car company's ever done that. Not to this extent.
In fact, there's actually a video that I'll quickly try and find that Munro and Associates did. Actually, there's a few videos that Munro and Associates did that were quite good. And one actually has direct content to Jason Stanley, who's a WA EV champion. And And I'm just going to try and find Munro Live very quickly. There we go. But one of them, Pete, is to your thing about evolution. So the actual Model Y itself has changed. Well, sorry, between the 3 and a couple of versions of the Y, that has changed dramatically.
Yeah.
And one of the videos, it does show this. Here it is. I won't put the audio on, and I'll just try and find the section. So basically, Sandy was talking about. Sorry, he's got a little bit of spam there, and this is very boring. Watching the side of my head, looking at something. Oh yeah, here. So this is an image, I think, from memory of the Model 3, which has got a lot of stamp sections. And see, you got the firewall, and this was their first Model 3 they pulled apart. This is the one that Sandy tore strips off Tesla about, with all the different welds. They had laser welds and stir welds and soft,
particularly at the back of the car, he ripped into them right at the boot section.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. But
it was about 30 bits there.
But you can still see the forward thinkingness. It's got left and right hand drive versions, right? Which the new Model S doesn't have. But so this was the Model 3, and then he shows 2 versions of the Model Y. I'm just trying to find the other version. Oh yes, see how this has got a firewall as well. It's in steel, in metal, sorry. But the newest version, you can't see it because it's not there. It's actually that the firewall no longer is metal; it's actually plastic. They've just got a plastic bulkhead separating the motor compartment to the passenger compartment.
Right.
And that was between the 2 different. The one on the left, the red one on the left, is the first Y they pulled down, and this is the structural battery pack Y that they just bought from Austin, because of course they do show in the middle where there's just a giant hole. Oh, this is the back of the original 3 that Sandy was just ripping into Tesla. And then this is the back part where it's just a plastic tub for where, the boot section. And then because it's a structural pack, there are no cross members. The battery pack just comes up underneath.
Yeah.
Structural member.
It's incredible what they've done, and they struggled to pull the top off that new battery pack, the 4680.
Oh yes, yeah. So what they did, they couldn't get. Let me just see if this will work. They couldn't get the this pink foam off, and they were having a hell of a problem. So I just got to get to the correct one. So.
Welcome back to Munro Live. Here with Corey. You can see here that we've blasted away some of this pink stuff. And if you look down here, you can see the 4680 batteries. What we have found out so far is that taking this apart is a miserable deal.
Video is not playing.
I cannot begin
to
hear it. We've sunk in on this thing trying.
We can only hear the voice, Harold, only the audio. Yeah,
you're joking.
Yeah, that's good now.
That's it.
Yep.
There we go.
Oh, sorry. Sure. Okay.
Things to pieces. And what we're going to do is tell you a little bit about what we know so far. And Corey is dying to jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, getting the pink stuff off, we rented a dry ice blaster. So if you want to figure out what that is, you can Google what a dry ice blaster, but it's allowed.
And that was from one of our
viewers, so thank you very much. And the first thing we did before we used the dry ice blaster was remove the foam that was on the side. So the cells are not all the way outboard in the battery case, and you do see you have an aluminum lower and the upper was steel. And if you get in here, Eric, you can see that there is an ABS base underneath the cells, and then there's a thin layer of mica. So I'm going to point at the mica. You see this right here, a thin layer of mica, and then of that black part.
Okay, so the reason I wanted to show this video was that there's a tweet thread here from Sawyer Merritt saying that Munro's finally removed the 4680s. And then Trevor Page from Model 3 Owners Club, they said they've got a lot of work ahead of them to remove the pink polyurethane foam. And then someone called Jay's 200, which is Jason Stanley, says perhaps dry ice blasting could help them with the pink stuff. And it's funny because I knew about dry ice blasting because that's a really common thing you do with anything that you sort of don't want to have the blasting material interfere with what you're blasting at. And they literally, presumably they'd never thought of it, saw the tweet and did it, rented a machine. I mean, even Karcher actually have one where you just hook up a CO2 cylinder, it actually makes the pellets for itself and then spits them out. So you don't even have to do what they did, which was buy a big box of
dry ice.
Mashed up dry ice. But anyway, so that was a bit of WA content getting into Sandy Munro.
Yeah. Speaking of Jason, I was 2 weeks ago on the way to golf. There's this blue Model Y. It must have been a demo, I think. And first off, I pulled up and I thought it was a Model X. And so I rang Jason. I said, "Are you going for a test drive?" But it wasn't him. But yeah, it looked fantastic, this blue Model Y.
Yep.
And as I say, first thing was it was a Model X, but I think I've not seen that before. And then I tweaked. It was a Y. Fantastic looking car.
Yeah. Yep. I actually, my wife took one for a test drive. I was just running shotgun, and first thing we did was just drive it to our place to see if it fit in the. We knew it was going to fit in the garage, but just to see what it was like.
Yep.
And yeah, I got a photo of that car, which was in red, next to her red S, and yeah, it looked great. Looked really good. But they're awesome cars.
Did you see it next to yours and see the comparison? Must be.
No, not my X. No, because my X was at Tesla, being held hostage to guarantee the return of the Y. But then again, I could almost have just done a straight swap and said you can just keep the X. And no, anyway, my car's not that bad. But my best car is still my next car, regardless.
Always is, I think.
Always, it always is, and it always should be. That's the way it is. That's the way of the world.
Yes, yes.
But one little spoiler thing, which I'll reveal at the end of the show, because I know not many people watch it, is I've actually ordered one of these from Monday.
Oh, yes, he said he was splitting them up.
Oh, yeah. They're not cheap though, Harold.
No, they bloody weren't.
$500 or something.
Sorry?
Didn't he want like $500 or something for it?
100, I think, wasn't it?
I think it was 800 US.
Oh, 800.
Or was it 880? It's one or the other. I think it was like $1,200 Australian. But it's free freight.
What's that for, Harold? Part of the battery pack?
Yeah, Damo. Part of the battery pack is one battery out of the battery pack.
Whoa. 4680.
Jesus Christ.
But given by how much effort it takes to get one out, because I did tweet out that they did give birth to one, and it's a girl. Maybe it's not such a bad deal because it's going to take a lot of time to dig them out without blowing them up. So maybe I'm getting a good deal after all.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's like a little sneak peek of what's going to come sometime in the future.
What are you going to do with that, Harold? Straight to the pool room.
Oh yeah. Look, it's just well, that's right, exactly right, Damo. Straight to the pool room, straight next to my bottle of Tesla Keeler decanter and a couple of Cybertruck scale models, and all that sort of stuff.
I've had to make sure my new garage is the right size too, because a lot of garages you can't fit them in.
For the Cybertruck?
Nah, well, I haven't got that far, but I think that'll fit too.
Yeah, you got to make sure check your dimensions, Pete. I'd be going large if I were you.
Well, I can always encroach into I put the workshop in front of the garage, so that gives me another couple of metres.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I'll have about 8 metres or something like that.
Off the top of my head, I'd be gunning for like 7 by 7, at least, if you can.
No, I think 8 by 6 and a bit.
Is it 6 wide or 6 long?
Oh, about 8 long and about 6'2" wide, I think.
Is that the opening, or is that this?
No, it's not the opening.
Oh, that's the opening smaller.
Yeah. I can make it.
The 8 will be okay because the 8 will fit the lengthwise, and then the width you could always just get a Model Y and the Cybertruck.
Well, we'll probably get back to 1 anyway.
Oh, if you got 1, then you can the Cybertruck in the middle, mate. Perfect.
Yeah.
No problemo.
We'll have the door's about 2.4 high, I think. So that should solve.
Well, that's fine. No, because the Cybertruck's only. I was next to it. It wasn't much more than head height, so it was maybe 2 meters tops.
Yeah. So I can fit 2.2 in here. We're already.
Yeah. No, you're totally fine. So that's going to be totally won't be an issue. Absolutely not an issue at all. What is an issue is we just got to check the Tesla share price, and then we might do a bit of a wrap.
Yeah, it's just about there.
Yeah, we're just about there. Oh, 912 going up 17. No, is that? Yes. Can't see that. $10. Is that right?
$10, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
1.15%.
But of course, as someone mentioned, I think was it Paul that got some for $680?
$688. $688, I think he got them for.
Yeah. Yes, I should have listened to you, Pete, when you said bridging finance. Bridging finance for Tesla shares.
Yes.
We'll see what the AGM does on Friday morning.
Sorry? Say again, Pete? Petrosky?
I said time. Yeah.
Go Pete. Yeah, go Pete. Yep.
No, I just said timing is all wrong for me.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. And yeah, Pete Petrosky, I should have, anyway. Hindsight Harry always gets it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no doubt there'll be a bit of a boost. Have you got any guess, since we're not going to be recording until after the annual general meeting, have you got any inklings or predictions on when they will do the split? Since the split will be approved on, Friday our time.
Yeah, anyone's guess, really. But I think we were having a chat about this. I think you were saying sooner. I would think, knowing Elon, you'd go for a fairly long lead time because it's just a good story, and the way markets work is they go up leading up to the event and then they sell off, on the news of the event. So the longer you make that time frame, the better. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I think he did give an estimate on that, and I have an idea it was October, but it's too long ago since I saw the early prediction on that.
Something I saw that was really interesting from Gary Black, because he does a lot of interesting tweets, was he's predicting a buyback in October.
Whoa.
By Tesla, a share buyback. Now, whether he's just flying a kite or I don't know what.
Yeah, I that's not Elon's style, I wouldn't have thought.
Doing a buyback?
Yeah.
Unless he has to admit that they've got too much cash that they can't spend.
Mm. But I mean, he'd be, just buy a bit more Bitcoin with it.
Yeah, but he did that and made a little bit of money, and then is Bitcoin a good investment at the moment compared to buying back your own shares?
He can spend it on right-hand drive Model S Plaid production.
Well, Damo, as someone that's got a Model X on order for the last 18 months, I totally agree with you, mate, because if he can be bothered doing a right-hand drive Model S Plaid, he can be bothered doing a right-hand drive Model X standard. Oh, man. Anyway.
That one will be worth the wait, though. That'll be a brilliant car, that one.
How long do you wait?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be waiting probably longer than I waited for my original Model X. Yeah. And the thing is, I ordered that. Well, I didn't order it. I finished my order at the start of 2013. So, and I didn't get it until 2017.
I just don't get it. I just don't get why it's taken this long. Like,
because they haven't.
Richard, it's because so Rob Mayer did a good episode on this where he showed, what 30% an increase in revenue does to the bottom line for Tesla, because they've got that, the operating leverage. So 30% on the top line is like 60% on the bottom line. So and because of the way their cash flow works, so every other company, the quicker you grow, you have to grow because you're because you're getting to a cash flow problem. But because Tesla receives the money from you and I when we pay for the car before they have to pay their suppliers, the quicker they grow, the quicker they can grow, the more cash they have. So he's basically saying you'd be crazy to do anything but prioritize volume. And so there's no point bringing in a new model if you can't keep up with the current volume, especially if it gives you such a bang to your P&L statement. So it's a completely irrational thing for Tesla to do.
Yeah, right.
But I was going to ask, when do you think the Rivian might come to Australia? Because I know you've got that on order, haven't you, Richard?
Oh, I mean, can you even? No, I think you could only make a reservation if you're in America or Canada. We'd love one, but geez, I mean, to be honest, I think that there's talk of them building a UK factory. And if they do that, then of course that's a right-hand drive market, which would be coming to Australia. So I think that's probably, if they announce the go-ahead on that, then I think that brings the Australia supply of right-hand drives closer. I still think we're looking 3 or 4 years out.
Oh, I reckon more than that, 10.
Yeah, you reckon 10? I mean, I still just go back to thinking, it's not going to be it's not going to be the GMs, it's not going to be the Rivians, it's not going to be the Ford F-150, much as I'd love it to be. It's going to be Great Wall, it's going to be Ssangyong, or however you say it. It's going to be LDV,
BYD is going to be big.
BYD, it's, they're all going to get utes here, dual cab utes, quicker than any of the other established OEMs. And the first one will probably be LDV with the ET60 in early next year. So
we're going to be overrun by Chinese cars.
And that's China's both political and economic intention, because they want to dominate Australia and as many other places in the world as they can. And it's like, well, do you not buy something because it's a really good product? Because you go, oh, well, you're helping to, I don't know. I don't have any problem with buying stuff from China, but some people do, and that's fair enough.
Well, I think we're empowering them the more we buy.
What we are, but then if you want solutions and products that don't exist anywhere else, then what do you do? I think the climate crisis is a much bigger problem than the political one, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I do hope though that with that ET60 that they do bring it out in four-wheel drive for the Australian market, because they brought it out in rear-wheel drive for the New Zealand market. And I think if they try and do the same here, I just don't think it's going to cut the mustard. I think they could probably make more margin by making it four-wheel drive with a bigger range for Australia. Another 20 grand is not going to make as big a difference here as it would in New Zealand. I think you'll still have a good market. So if it's a 100 grand vehicle with, sorry, say again.
I was going to say the Australia needs the four-wheel drive. That's definite.
Yeah, look, let's not be about mining companies. Like anyone that needs it, to go off out into the bush, which is the whole point. It's going to need you know, good margins on the range, good towing, good load capability, and four-wheel drive. So, you know, there's some pretty entrenched competition. So yeah, I don't think it needs too much more work to make it a good, compelling option for the Australian market. As long as they can make it four-wheel drive, 500 k's range, sub $100,000, I reckon they're onto a winner.
Absolutely. Did you see, incidentally, that was it the F-150? They had some towing tests with caravans in the States, and yeah, apparently it whatever its headline mileage was, it was 300 and something miles.
300 got one, yeah.
Yeah, and it only got, without a caravan, only got 250 miles, and then with a caravan, it struggled to get between 90 and 120 miles.
Oh, double-digit range figures, not too impressive.
Towing kills the electric cars.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this is why you need drive-through charging stations, because to be unhitching every hour, you know, that's a
God. It's an engineering and economics challenge, though, isn't it? You know,
it is.
You need that.
But I was reading this about the range on the F-150 ages ago, but it's shocking.
Oh
yeah. And recently now with proper caravans that they've been testing, it's even worse. But I mean, that was predictable, because even on an ICE car, you can halve your you can double your fuel consumption, halve your range just by towing a big caravan. I mean, that's just physics. It's just that
the problem is they retrofitted an ICE car with a battery.
Yeah.
That's what the F-150 is, and the aerodynamics aren't there. You know, it's too heavy, it's too big,
yeah, exactly. You mentioned, Richard, before that Rivian might be looking at going to the UK.
You find it here?
Frustratingly, I can't find the tweet, but I thought it was Gary Black and others are still continuing to speculate that Tesla might go to the UK. Although I find that I would have thought that would be unlikely.
Rivian or Tesla?
No, Tesla.
I don't see why they would, though, because I think Berlin, that's got Europe covered. So
yeah, it seems strange, doesn't it? I mean, it could happen, but it doesn't these days with Brexit. It just doesn't seem to make sense. Because
you
where else
don't
would you export them to?
And remember, that was Elon's reason for not going into the UK when the speculations were rife about 18 months ago. He just said Brexit. Yeah.
Well, it's because the thing is, there's no. The UK is a massive market for Tesla, like 100%. Like, it's going crazy there. The number of people I know personally, like one of my mates the other day, who's always taking the piss out of me for being a Tesla fanboy, and I'm like, oh, if you think I'm a Tesla fanboy, you want to meet my friend. But he said, he messaged me the other day to say that both his neighbours have got Model Ys now, and that's literally since we were last there, 3 years ago, getting married. So, so I was like, well, mate, that's telling you something. So, but
they've got like 10 times the penetration than we have.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. But what Brexit does is that it because they still want the flow of goods coming from mainland Europe, it makes your exports harder. So it's more difficult for Tesla to, because you'd have to have a European what's the word? You'd have to make all your vehicles for Europe to the EU standard in the UK, and then it's harder to export. So why wouldn't you just build Berlin out, and then just because sending stuff into the UK is easier, or is possibly even easier because they're just waving everything through. So. Yeah, and look, with any big political change, it's always adds extra risk. So, but for Rivian seem to be particularly interested for some reason, and maybe with the Amazon connection, because Amazon's so big in the UK, maybe they want to build out the vehicles there for the local market. I can see that as a good joint business.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned local market. One thing I saw today was that the Tesla Semi is available to reserve in the UK.
Really? That's interesting.
There's no left and right hand drive. That's a big help.
No, it's central drive.
Good point.
And, let me just get to the UK.
I actually don't know what the road rules are with the Semi.
I think they've got the 2.6 metre European standard because they would have inherited it or grandfathered it through Brexit, which is the 2.6 metre or 2.55, and the Tesla Semi is 2.35, I think it is.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, 2.535. It's 35 millimetres too wide, and that doesn't include wing mirrors and indicators and whatever. I'll just get the UK.
What's the range on the Semi?
800 miles.
Miles? Ks, I think.
Miles. 800 miles. There's a sorry.
I think it's the 300 miles.
Sorry, 300 miles and 500 miles. Sorry, apologies. Wow. Yeah. So the Semi, we're in the ENGB. Oh, sorry, I haven't got the screen up. So there you go. This is... it's... No, I've got to go into private browsing. Hang on a sec, because this thing keeps interfering. I just go into private browsing, and then after this, we'll call it a night. But basically, Tesla is in. So if we pick the UK, but not in Ireland, which I thought was really strange. So in the UK, if you go to Semi,
I mean, trucking in the UK is huge.
EN UK, no, GB, ENGB, there it is, and you can reserve now.
Oh, okay.
And
it's interesting.
It's only £4,000, and then you've got to do another 11,000 in a little while. But if we just go back out of that, it's cheap. It's at the bottom. Where are the prices? There we go.
That is cheap.
Base price. It's £140,000. I just did a Google translation earlier today, and that's It's less than $250,000.
Yeah,
Australian.
That's incredible.
Well, that's long range, 500-mile range, and it's available to reserve in the UK right now. And yet, if we go into Ireland, which is in the EU, it's IE.
Yes, yeah.
You get a broken link.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you go into Australia, which is all we really care about, you just get a broken link.
Australia and Austria.
And Austria, that's right. But you can't insult me because I'm both, so don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Semi is about, you can reserve it in the UK. So, Richard, can we get a relative or something? Can we reserve one? And then we'll just stick it on
Well, I'm just thinking, should I fly? Yeah, get my mum to reserve.
Is the deposit refundable?
She would, you know. She's excellent.
Is the deposit refundable?
I think it's non-refundable.
Let's have a look.
I could literally order it to my mum's house. Pick it up on the CCTV.
Why refunds? Reservations are. Oh no, fully refundable. That's the one today. Yeah. It's fully refundable. Oh man.
Let me just get on the internet.
No, it'd be worth it to fly to the UK just to go for a spin at it.
Hilarious. Can you imagine? 140 grand though, because tracking is so huge. I do wonder though, hear me out, because so much of the UK's freight comes from mainland Europe. But I do wonder if, because of, I don't know, I'm trying not to read too much into it. Like trucking is huge in the UK. Like that, it's basically just how everything gets around. But like more so than rail, I think, for freight in the UK, in the UK, I mean, particularly coming from UK Rail, it was very much about passenger services and less about freight. So obviously the opposite here, at least in WA. But so I'm just wondering whether for the UK market, going into Europe and getting produce and bringing it back might be something that'd be really attractive for fleet buyers there. Whereas with Ireland being still in the European Union, they wouldn't have as much of a need for local drivers.
What's weird is the Semi is only available in Europe, the continent, only in the UK, nowhere else. So I've tried Germany and it's not available. So it's only the UK that Tesla, and I mean, I don't know even if this is news, whether anyone's realised this or not. I mean, we could have been breaking it again like we did with the chargers being available in, for other EVs to use in Europe. And then the next day, Tesla already went berserk and went, there's chargers available in Germany and Austria.
So Tesla already listened to us as well.
That's right. It's okay. We don't get too upset if they plagiarise our breaking news, even if Anyway, I mean, what's that saying? If you copy off one person, that's plagiarism. If you copy off lots of people, that's just research. But yeah, so it's only in the UK. Literally, it's the only place you can buy the Semi out of America.
I'm just trying to think if I know anyone that's a trucker back there. I know friends who's have had parents that have retired from trucking now, so maybe they might know. I don't know, but yeah, that's the only thing that I could think of as to why it might just be the UK.
Yep. Well, I spoke to the people at Golden West Ice, who very generously are hosting the Tokwa charger in Geraldton, and they actually they've ordered 5 Volvos prime movers for 350k each.
Wow. I guess they're buying on range, I suppose, for them.
Yeah, and I think those will pull a double. They'll pull 2 trailers.
Yeah.
So that's 90 tons. And I know that the Tesla Semi is rated for 80,000 pounds, I think, which is about half that. So there's no mention of a Semi being able to pull like 2 trailers. I mean, it probably can.
Probably could, but not very far.
Not very far.
No, they're working on the theory. You've got 2 prime movers and one stays behind the other.
Yes, at the presentation, they I think they showed platooning of three in a row. So one had a driver at the front, and the 2 others were driverless down the highway, platooning at a very close distance, being like a virtual train. So they're in each other's slipstreams.
Finally, it would literally be a road train.
Yeah, whether you have 2 or 3 doesn't really matter. Once you have the first 2, adding another one on and another one on, that doesn't really change anything.
But then how do you overtake?
Yeah, I mean, what they could be programmed to do is, as soon as the back truck senses there's a car behind it, they just make the gap larger. Then the car overtakes, and then they close the gap again.
I can't see that going wrong at all. Can you imagine putting that business case to Rita Sapiotti? So Rita, we've got an idea for you.
Actually, that's something else, and I'm going to have to raise it next week because it's too important to do at the very last moment when only 2,000 or 3,000 people are watching this video at this stage.
3,000, you mean?
Yeah, I want it to be modest, There is the national, what's it called? It's the On-Road Enforcement for Automated Vehicles in July 2022, a discussion paper done by the National Transport Commission. And what's important about this is that there is a mechanism. I'm going to try and find the web page that you can do submissions. And I'm going to find it difficult to find right now. I might have to prepare a little bit better, which would be unusual for me. Oh, here we go. No, I can't find it in the 10 seconds I'm allowing myself. But basically, this is a discussion paper for how they actually police autonomous cars. Like, in fact, how do police? In fact, I'll try and find some of the contents, like the powers to direct a automated. What's the name?
Did you see those cops in the States trying to pull over a Waymo autonomous vehicle? Like, I was about 6 months ago.
What did they do? Shoot it? Shoot the tires?
It was like, what are you going to do?
Well,
anyway, sorry, yeah.
The solution is really easy. I reckon what you do is, with any autonomous car, you just give emergency services the rights to any vehicle take control, assuming there is a steering wheel and pedals. You know,
you need like a portal. You need to be able to like log into some system, like log into a server, put in certain credentials, such as I'm a policeman, or maybe the central office does this, central dispatch, gets a number plate or some reference, some identifying reference. It's autonomous and it says shut down now, or pull over now, or do something, or tell it to turn left to the next street or something. So some of these topics are powers to direct it, current powers to use intervention and pursuit tactics, powers to stop the vehicle remotely, and obviously practical considerations for stopping it remotely, because what if it just stops on the middle of a freeway and causes worse accidents and blah-de-blah. And it goes on and on. It's got the whole lot. Power to access data other than at roadside from the cloud. So this is obviously data to do with how it was driving and if there's an accident. So it's actually quite refreshingly a very detailed discussion paper about all the possible machinations of what you need to do with autonomous vehicles. And the thing is, this includes, hopefully, many of our cars that we are either own or will own, which is Tesla, because Tesla will have full self-driving. Our cars, hopefully, in the future, will be able to go out and drive somewhere by themselves. And at least our government, or the federal government, or federal and state, are contemplating what that might look like and what processes have to put in place. But there are actually submissions which close early September. So what I will do is, rather than try and bash it out now at the last minute, is do it next week, so that we can get people to put in submissions if they want to, for suggestions. But so there you go. That's a little bit of a juicy tidbit for next week. But we've now got to deal with today, which is it's kind of bedtime, and we all need our beauty sleep, some more than others, me the most. Pete, how would you round out this awesome TOCWA Ask Us Anything session? What should we all be doing?
So first of all, another big shout out to Ashley. Wishing you all the very best, mate. And as always, stay safe, stay sustainable, and stay ahead of the curve.
And the best way to do that is buy a Tesla, join TOCWA, and ask us anything about accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy.
Amen.
Have a great week. Look forward to seeing most of you this Sunday, and everyone else, and those in YouTube land next Wednesday night on Ask Us Anything. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.
See you later.
Good night.
See you guys.
See you guys.
See you.